has his Cardinals at 3-2 entering play today against this Niner team that won the toss but has elected to defer. That's no shock, getting this defense on the field first. Jim Harbaugh has done an outstanding job since taking over as coach. Now in his third year, Javier Arenas is the man back deep. That's Phil Dawson kicking off. We're underway in San Fran. And here comes Arenas. Out to the 20, maybe the 21. The Cardinals will come on the field with their first possession. Carson Palmer, who admitted it's been a little bit of a struggle in Bruce Arians' difficult offense so far this year.
Absolutely. You know, Bruce Arians had Andrew Luck last year in Indianapolis. He mentioned, and Carson Palmer mentioned, probably harder for Carson Palmer because he's played in so many other systems that are different. This one, Carson has struggled. He feels like it's close, though, that this offense is about to click.
They started off with Rashard Mendenhall in the backfield. He'll get it on the first play. And the former Steeler is going to work his way out to the 25 before he's decked there. This Cardinals offensive line was Bruce Arians called a work in progress. Bradley Sowell making his second start at left tackle.
And here's the reason for optimism, why they thought they were going to be so explosive. You see Fitzgerald, Michael Floyd, Rob Hausler. They got to get these guys going. Carson Palmer needs to start playing good football.
Swing it to Mendenhall. And Mendenhall is undercut there. This speed on the San Fran defense, that's the rookie free safety Eric Reed, who made the tackle after a gain of 2.
But Kevin, what the 49ers do as a defense, it starts up front. Their front 7, excellent, led by Justin Smith up front. 2 excellent inside linebackers in Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis. And you see the back end, Eric Reed, we just saw him. He's a bright young future at the safety position for the 49ers.
The guy not listed in that secondary is Tremaine Brock, the nickelback. He had 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown last week. Brock on the bottom of your screen right now. 3rd and 4. And Palmer complete, but that is not going to nearly be enough. Dante Whitner came up to make the hit of Ellington. 3 and out for the Cardinals.
That play is very typical of what you'll see from the 49ers. You may get some catches, but they're going to come up. They're going to tackle you solidly. Look at the block, the break on the football by Dante Whitner. A great tackle in the open field on the rookie Andre Ellington.
Dave Zastudil will punt it away. Fair catch called for Kyle Williams. Niners will take over. And here's Colin Kaepernick. Hard to believe because he was the quarterback that led this team to the Super Bowl. But John, this is only his 16th career start.
Absolutely. And I think last year it went so well for him. We saw earlier this year in that stretch where they lost to Seattle. They lost to Indy. The first little lull in his career. What did they do? They went to the running game, kind of put him on the sidelines. I think they're going to bring him back. They know this is a tough Arizona defense. They're going to have to throw the ball with some success as well. Look for the tight ends, Vernon Davis and Vance McDonald, to be part of that.
Going to pass on first down. Lot of time and an incomplete pass. He had Bolden over the middle, throw a little low, and a 2nd and 10 coming for this Niners offense with those maulers up front.
I said it in the open, the best offensive lineman in football. I really believe it. Mike Upati, the best of all of them, along with Joe Staley, the left tackle. And you see this, Frank Gore, he's the go-to guy, an outstanding fullback in Bruce Miller. There's those tight ends I was talking about along with Anquan Bolden.
We think Vance McDonald, maybe see him a little bit more. He's a good-looking rookie from Rice. We'll watch him. That's Vernon Davis, a starting tight end in motion. And a throw again. Get it out in the flat. And pick up a few yards there. Dansby making the stop on Davis. Here's the D.
And I think the strength of this Arizona defense is that they're strong on all 3 levels, led by Calais Campbell and Dockett up front. Darrell Washington, off suspension last week, was all over the field. And in the back end, Patrick Peterson, as good as there is at the cornerback position in the National Football League.
we go.
3rd and 4 for Kaepernick. Blitz coming. Kaepernick in trouble, and down he goes. The Cardinals get their first sack of the game. It was Dansby coming in, and they loaded up in the middle.
Well, there's Dansby right there. They're just going to hit those A-gaps. And a little pick, he gets right by there. You see Dansby in Washington hit the A-gaps. Dansby comes down with the sacks. 7 sacks last week versus Cam Newton. They're up to their old ways here in San Francisco early.
Patrick Peterson, the electric return man, 4 punt return touchdowns in his rookie year. Got the white shoes on today, trying to get a little spark against one of the best punters in the game, and Andy Lee. And there's a rocket from Lee, but returnable. Peterson making moves, and a big return all the way out to the 44-yard line. Cardinals thrilled off the defensive stop, and then the 18-yard return from Patrick Peterson. No score early first quarter.
This game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Well, risky business punting to Patrick Peterson. You're going to see Patrick take out his special teams coach, Amos Jones. And Amos, don't get mad at the official. It's Patrick that hit you. Amos gets up ready to fight. I don't think he liked his franchise guy getting hit out of bounds.
Good field position for the Cardinals on their second possession at their own 44, and it's Mendenhall on the carry. Not much. Going to get up to the 47, gain of 3. This Niners defense and their leader back today, Patrick Willis, missed the last 2 games with a groin injury. I mean, this is a guy that's made the Pro Bowl each of his last 6 seasons.
The irony, though, is that it happens so often in this league. Without Patrick Willis, without Aldon Smith the last 2 weeks, the 49ers defense, what do? They play their best football of the season, 2 wins, but they're sure glad to have Patrick Willis back.
On a 2nd and 7, Palmer's got time, and intercepted by San Fran. It's picked off by Reed. Eric Reed still on his feet. Inside the 10. Carson Palmer has had interception problems all year long, and the Niners are set up 1st and goal.
We talked about Eric Reed and what a bright future. He's looking for Jim Dre going across the formation. Eric Reed sits back, reads his eyes, and then breaks on the football. I said this young man has a bright future. They could not be higher. You see the block by Navarro Bowman. Takes out 2. And Carson Palmer, the interceptions have bit him early this year. They bite him again here early.
It has been a huge problem for Carson Palmer. Came in with 9 interceptions. That's his 10th overall. And now 8 interceptions, John, in the last 4 games. And obviously this one's only early first quarter. Meanwhile, the Niners set up on a 1st and goal. That's Bolden, top of your screen. Kaepernick looking for him, and no signal, no, incomplete. He was looking for his main man, Anquan Bolden. It was Patrick Peterson on the coverage.
Well, this is a matchup we're going to see all day. Patrick Peterson on Anquan Bolden. Just watch and enjoy. Great coverage. Anquan Bolden, some of the strongest hands in the league, and so that's a tremendous effort by Patrick Peterson. See the athleticism, the long reach, and then the pull to get that ball out of there.
Track play to Gore, and it doesn't go very far. Cardinals played it well. John, this is the 3rd best run D in the league, this Cardinal squad.
Yeah, and they've been doing it with tremendous effort. Now their challenge today against the 49ers. 49ers, a really diverse, creative run game. Todd Bowles, their defensive coordinator, said this is a game where they're going to try to influence you with all the shifts, motions. Read your keys. Your keys will take you to the football. They're doing a great job of it early.
A 3rd and goal with Bolden bottom of your screen matched up against Peterson. It's not a penalty. Niners didn't snap it. Kaepernick firing. Nice play over the middle. Jeremiah Bell, the free agent safety, knocked it down in Arizona with a goal line stand.
You see Jeremiah Bell working against Vernon Davis. Just outstanding play. 2 plays And in that series, well-thrown balls by Kaepernick, but outstanding defense by the Arizona Cardinals in coverage.
So after Eric Reid's 53-yard interception return, John, I mean, that's an enormous stop early in this game. As now Phil Dawson from 25 yards out will attempt to put San Fran in front. He does just that, but that is a Cardinal win on D. Hold on, flag. Let's see what this is.
Offense, number 88, 10-yard penalty. 4th down.
Garrett Selleck, that'll move it back 10 yards and make it a little bit more challenging for Phil Dawson. And so Dawson will move it back now and try one more time. As Palmer looking over the playbook. See Tom Moore, the longtime offensive guru, next to him. You remember him probably standing next to Peyton Manning on the sidelines in Indianapolis. That's
I try not to. That gives me nightmares. That guy's seen more football than most people ever forgot.
So now Dawson from 35 yards out after the penalty. And same result. Eric Reid had a 53-yard interception return, but the Cardinal defense stands tall. Niners up 3-0 in the first.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
The Niners take the early lead over the Cardinals on a drive that went backwards 10 yards, but it was because of Eric Reid's 53-yard interception return. But, John, that's a win for this Cardinals defense. They had the ball at the 7 and held them to a field goal.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Now the kick to Javier Arenas, 7 yards deep. Going to take it on out, and he's going to pay the price. That is not going to do well for Arizona. Taken down at the 16-yard line. 49ers all kinds of fired up. Carson Palmer gets another chance as his Cardinals trail by 3. Coming back.
This game on Fox is sponsored by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost, by Bank of America, and by the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Galaxy Gear.
Our director, Artie Kempner, was practicing punting here at Candlestick earlier before the game, and that one had hang time of 58 seconds. Gets the carry. He's got some speed, and he works his way out to the 17-yard line. Well, Arizona now has 12 giveaways. It's 26 in the NFL, and there's a Niner player down. It's Glenn Dorsey grabbing that hamstring. He's the nose tackle on this defense here. Heat is not a factor today. It's a perfect day, about 70 degrees.
This is something, though, that the 49ers are going to be concerned about. Remember, Glenn Dorsey has replaced Ian Williams as the starting nose tackle and been playing extremely well. You see him try to make the play on Ellington, and it looks like he grabs for that right hamstring right away. Very thin after Dorsey at the nose tackle position.
They're going to tend to Dorsey here in Candlestick. Niners with the early lead. Paul Pick in 08 has an issue with probably his hamstring, and that's a problem. He's the nose tackle for San Francisco. Tony Gerard Eddy in his second year out of Texas A&M, number 67 in Ellington. Stretch left is going to be a little shy, but it'll be a 3rd down and short. Coming up, Terrell Brown was there after a 3-yard gain. And that's not good.
Not at all. And you talk to Bruce Arians. He said, look, we're trying to train his eyes to this system, but what has been most disappointing are the interceptions. Those are hard to get over, and in particular in 3rd down, in the red zone, in the critical areas. That's where Carson struggled. You're not going to beat the 49ers with turnovers like that.
The Cardinals are 30% on 3rd down. That's 29th in the league, and Bruce Arians told us the problem with that is a lot of them have been 3rd and short, like this. A lot of time for Palmer. High throw to Fitzgerald. Incomplete. Cardinals will punt. Got a game break. Let's check in with Joel Klatt.
All right, thank you, Kevin. We go to Denver, where the Broncos, an early hot start. Wes Welker, his 8th touchdown of the season. That leads the league. Also his 800th catch. Peyton Manning staying hot. 14-0 Broncos. Kevin.
Broncos might score 800 points the way that game's going early. They've just been tremendous. Zastudil will punt it away. Kyle Williams will call a fair catch there, but good field position for the 49ers, taking over at their own 32. 47-yard punt, no return, 3-0. San Fran in front. Back in San Francisco, John, a little coaching going on that sideline. In the game, we have no first downs just yet.
And you're looking at one of the best assistant coaches in football right there, and Jim Tomsula. So much respect for him. He gets so much out of his players and has for a long time here in San Francisco.
Vernon Davis in motion. It's Frank Gore in the backfield, and he gets it on first down for a short gain against middle of that Cardinals defense. Tonight, Game 2 ALCS had nothing to do with the hitters last night. It was all about the pitching because the Red Sox nearly got no hit in a 1-0 gem. The Tigers took Game 1. It's Game 2 tonight, 8 Eastern on Fox. And how about that? Max Scherzer probably win the AL Cy Young against Clay Buchholz in Beantown. Scherzer's got a fastball. So did Colin Kaepernick, by the way, when he played baseball. He said he threw it 94 miles an hour. Blitz picked up. He's got a lot of time, and it's incomplete. Boy, this Cardinals coverage in the secondary has been tremendous. That was Tyrann Mathieu, the rookie from LSU.
Well, he's been outstanding all year long. Matthew's going to be right there in the slot. And the Arizona DB's doing a terrific job right now, breaking on the football, getting their hands on it, doing it cleanly. Honey Badger says, all right, I'll take on the big boy, and he's been doing it well all year. Every facet of the game, he's been off the charts as a rookie. Quite impressive.
Still no first downs in this game. Midway through the first. Kaepernick firing. Davis makes the catch, but upended immediately by Jeremiah Bell, and we've got another punt. Secondary is playing for Arizona early.
Tell you, Vernon Davis and the wide receivers, these are the ones that they don't like, because Colin Kaepernick's throwing him right into a beating right there by Jeremiah Bell. Colin Kaepernick's been a little off sync here the last couple of weeks. Arizona playing great defense early.
Patrick Peterson back to receive the punt from Andy Lee. Peterson with an 18-yard return, his first chance. Look at this punt. And tripped up at the 10. Oh, that was well done by C.J. Spillman. We have a flag, though, back around the 46-yard line. A 57-yard bomb from Andy Lee. Let's see what the penalty is.
Holding. Number 59, receiving team during the kick. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Nothing like starting out on your own 5 on this particular drive for Arizona after the 57-yard punt. Great tackle, and now the penalty. Third member of our broadcast team today is Molly McGrath, and she's down on the field.
Thanks, Kevin. You saw Glenn Dorsey hobbling off the field with help from some of the trainers. He definitely could not walk on his own, but after he was tended to, he was stretched out a little bit. He was walking better, and now he's questionable to return with a hamstring injury. Kevin?
Well, the Niners could use him. He's not a sack guy, that's for sure, but he's just kind of an anchor in the middle of that lineup. Jafon Taylor, the rookie from Stanford, is in there for Arizona on a 2-back set. Arizona jumps. Moving on back to the 2.5.
False start. Offense number 73. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
See Eric Winston, he's going to be right here, and Carson Palmer, veteran move. Great place to do a hard count. If you go back, you only go half the distance, about a half yard. Eric Winston, veteran player, got to be on the details a little more than that.
Trying to get a little breathing room, and there is absolutely none there. Dante Whitner came up. Ahmad Brooks was there as well. The Cardinals are looking for some kind of positive momentum right now.
See DeMarcus Dobbs will be working right there against Eric Winston, and Jim Dre holds the point. Dante Whitner, Hittner, whatever you want to call him, he's whacking people.
Larry Fitzgerald topping the screen. That's Michael Floyd in motion. Looking for Fitzgerald. It's intercepted again. No, knocked away. Oh, my, that was close. Terrell Brown jumped the route. Couldn't make the catch.
Just a bad decision. You see the inside technique by Terrell Brown. I understand it's Larry Fitzgerald. Carson Palmer told us this. He's a great receiver. I can't force it. That's a force, and he's lucky he got away with one right there.
Cardinals on their own 3 on a 3rd and long. They're 9%. 9. Worst in the NFL on 3rd and long. Palmer's got time. Looking for Fitzgerald. It's intercepted again. This time it's Carlos Rogers. Looking for some blocks, and Rogers has it down to the 11. What a disaster of a start for Carson Palmer.
Just being careless with the football. Over the middle of the field, Carson Palmer trying to force it once again to Larry Fitzgerald. It's 2-man coverage. Carlos Rogers underneath coverage. Safety over the top. You see these guys right there. That's a double. Somebody else is open. That guy right there is open. You cannot force the football. Carson Palmer knew it, but he's still doing it, and the 49ers are taking advantage of it.
Carson Palmer told us about forcing into Fitzgerald. I've tried, and it's bitten me in the butt. Just did again. His 11th interception of the year. Here's Gore on the track with room. That hole closed up quickly. I thought he was going to walk in there, but Darnell Dockett closed it down.
You watch Greg Roman, Jim Harbaugh's offense. So much creativity. You got a lot going on here. You got Mike Upati pulling. You got the reverse going one way. But the one constant, you got a guy, a terrific runner in Frank Gore that's going to get the ball downhill. He's going to churn those legs. Tremendous run package here in San Francisco.
They clocked at 2. And San Francisco is going to be forced to burn a timeout there.
Good hustle by Harbaugh right there. Got the timeout.
Kaepernick clearly changing the play, but just ran out of time. Well, John, this Arizona defense, back on their heels early. I mean, San Fran doesn't have a first down, but they got a couple possessions to start inside the 20. That's tough.
Well, we talked about the dominant defense early in Arizona, but this offense, you gotta toe your load a little bit. And right now, the Cardinals are just giving it away on offense, and we'll see if Kaepernick and the 49ers can take advantage of these mistakes.
9 interceptions the last 4 games for Carson Palmer. Only Eli Manning has more interceptions on the year than Palmer. Carlos Rogers pretty thrilled, setting up his 49ers with good field position on a 2nd and 5. Gore nowhere to go. Tyrann Mathieu came up like a blur and just obliterated that play.
You watch Tyrann Mathieu coming from right here all the way to set this edge and make the tackle. That is a great football play. This kid is a rookie, but instincts is the word everyone uses to describe him. He's got a sense for where the ball's going to be, and he gets there in a hurry.
Bruce Arians told us Mathieu has instincts like Ed Reed. He sees it and he feels it. That is a big compliment. 3rd and 7. They can get a first just inside the 1. Well, once again, the 49ers get handed field position practicing on the goal line, and they're going to have to settle for another field goal try.
And what a job by this Arizona defense once again. I believe it's Darrell Washington that gets his hands up. Darrell Washington, he's been everywhere. His debut last week, 9 tackles, 2 sacks, an interception. Now he's tipping balls. An outstanding football player is Darrell Washington.
So Phil Dawson will try another field goal. 26-yarder. Andy Lee on the hole. 6-0 San Francisco. Colin Kaepernick given a couple of golden opportunities, but all they could get are 2 field goals. He's not thrilled right now, but still his Niners in front. San Francisco has always been a good team creating turnovers. They hadn't done it this year until last week when they created 4 turnovers in the win over Houston, already 2 today.
And it's the signature of what they do and what they've done under Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, and Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh said it's like the olive jar. You open it up and you try to get that first one out, and then it's just all the floodgates open. Well, that's what's happening with the turnovers. You see the first 4 weeks of the season, 5 turnovers. Last week, 4 against the Houston Texans, 2 already today. It's what they do when they're playing their best ball, and they're playing their best ball now.
Arenas going to let that one bounce out of the end zone, and the Cardinals will take over on their own 20. We have our latest game break. Checking in with Joel Klatt.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Let's go up to Seattle. Stay in the NFC West. We're on 4th and goal. Marshawn Lynch punches it in, and Seattle takes the 7-3 lead in the 2nd quarter. Back to San Francisco, Kevin.
And Marshawn Lynch was questionable coming into today, but boy, they are tough running that football, aren't they?
Good football team up there in Seattle. We saw a great matchup with them and the Indianapolis Colts. They fell a little short, but a really good football team in Seattle.
Andre Ellington in the backfield, the rookie from Clemson. And he'll get the pitch. Looking for room, has it. Good run on 1st down from Andre Ellington. Carlos Rogers out there on the tackle. Now, Andre Ellington's a guy that Cardinals want to get involved more. Last week in the win over Carolina, Johnny had 30 snaps. That was the most he had had all year. But Bruce Arians kind of hinted this week that maybe that's where he's at. I'm not sure if I believe that.
Talking to Bruce Arians on the field before the game, he said the one area that we love him is as a receiver. Right now he's lined up as a receiver at the top of the screen. They love him as a receiver as well as a runner.
2nd and 5 for Palmer, coming near side, has Floyd, and tried to reverse field but couldn't. Ahmad Brooks out there very quickly, no gain. And another dreaded 3rd down where Arizona has really struggled this year.
Well, we're so used to seeing Ahmad Brooks rushing the passer, but Vic Fangio, he's out there against an NFL wide receiver. What does he do? He goes and makes a tough open field tackle in space. Ahmad Brooks, Vic Fangio, as defensive coordinator, says the best thing he does is everything. He does everything well.
8th year from Virginia is Brooks. It's a 3rd and 5 for the Cardinals. 0 for 3 on 3rd. Four-man rush. Fitzgerald this time has it. Breaking away is Larry Fitzgerald. Touchdown, Arizona. 75 yards.
Well, this makes you understand why, if you're Carson Palmer, you might want to force the football to Larry Fitzgerald. We're going to see him run just a little angle route. Double coverage once again. But it's Dante Whitner that goes for the big hit. Just make the tackle right there. Vic Fangio said the one thing we have to do is tackle the catch. A guy like Larry Fitzgerald can beat you, and boy does he right there. See Britton Golden, young wide receiver, out in front of Fitzgerald with the key block. And after everything that's transpired, Arizona's got a chance to go up. They are up 7-6.
Carson Palmer's thrown 2 picks. Twice San Francisco has had the ball knocking on the goal line because of those. They came away with 2 field goals. And it's the Cardinals who lead it now on the 75-yard score to Larry Fitzgerald. Well, you said it. Carson Palmer had said, hey, you know, it's bitten me in the butt a couple times. I've got to stop forcing it into Larry Fitzgerald. Well, sometimes, John, it works, doesn't it?
Keep forcing it after that. I mean, he's a terrific football player, as Larry Fitzgerald. You just got to be smart as to when you go to him. Right there, and what Carson did right there was throw on time. If you throw it early enough, the double coverage can't get there, and Larry Fitzgerald can do things like that.
Meanwhile, if you're San Francisco, this is a team that came in the last 2 weeks combined rushing for almost 400 yards. Trying to throw the ball today, it hasn't really worked.
It hasn't. They got to continue to have that balance in the offense, and they got to run the ball effectively. That's going to be tough against this Arizona defense that is so effective in stopping the run.
That has got to feel good for Carson Palmer. I mean, coming in, John, you talked about it in the open. This Arizona team, and they hired Bruce Arians, one of the great offensive minds in this league, for the last 3 decades, right? And it's been the defense and special teams carrying them, and Palmer even admitted it's been difficult to kind of get the offense going because Bruce Arians is a perfectionist. You like that result, that's for sure. Williams going to take it out. Breaks a tackle. Reverses field. Kyle Williams. Good return. Man, that was nice. A lot of running to do for Tony Jefferson. Knocked him out of bounds, but he sets up San Francisco with great field position here.
Some outstanding returners in today's game with Patrick Peterson, with Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams just showed some of his ability as a return man. Good field position for the 49ers.
Colin Kaepernick, John, today is 2 of 7, just 9 yards. And, you know, completion percentage has been a little bit of an issue. Last year he was at 62%. He's at 56% this year, and he struggled the last couple of weeks. Frank Gore, patient running, but a short gain for Frank Gore. Boy, it was fun meeting this week with Frank Gore, wasn't it? I mean, this is a guy that, you know, you look at him, he's in his 9th year out of Miami, 30 years old, and people say 30 years old running back, that'll kind of throw you in the trash. I feel like he's getting better, and I think he feels like he's getting better.
And my eyes tell me he's getting better. You watch the film, he's such a terrific player. Whenever they need him, whenever they're in a little slump, they go to Frank Gore, and you see the last couple weeks, he's earned that trust that Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, have put forth in him.
Anthony Dixon in the backfield now on a 2nd down, and here's Dixon on the little screen. Bring up a 3rd down for the 49ers after a pickup of just 3. Darnell Dockett was there on the tackle. You know, more on Gore. You go back to his days at Miami. You know, we had bad knee injuries. He tore the left and the right ACL, and people, I think, right then and there said, oh, it's tough to come back from that, and he's kind of overcome those type of things his whole career.
I love what he told us about going to Miami. He says, I could have been a starter at Ole Miss as a true freshman. I went to the University of Miami where they had Clinton Portis, Najee Davenport, and Willis McGahee. I love competition.
Yeah, he does. It's worked for him, and we get some movement on the right side. That Niners line. Dante Moak, linebacker, may have jumped.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Dante Moak right there. Just can't do it. You got to watch the football. Colin Kaepernick with the hard count.
Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, John, sorry.
Well, and he's a good one. He's an excellent one. He does a tremendous job putting game plans together each and every week that really highlights their players and what the defense has given them. Today, we're seeing they're trying to get the ball through the air a little bit more than on the ground.
Kaepernick, wide open, Vernon Davis. And Davis going to be down at the 31-yard line. Patrick Peterson on the coverage, 26 yards on the hookup.
Vernon Davis going to start right here. A little play action. Looks like he's going to the right. He comes back to the left. Arizona drops him in coverage. And Kaepernick's ability to extend the play, keeping his eyes downfield. That's the type of football that we're so accustomed to seeing Colin Kaepernick play.
First couple of first downs for the 49ers in this game. At the 31. It's a little reverse. Marlon Moore, the former Dolphin, making moves, and he's close to a first down. So Greg Roman getting creative. Has a good chunk on first down, maybe the final play of the first quarter.
A lot of deception in this Greg Roman offense, but if you watch their fullback, Bruce Miller, he takes you to the football every time. Where's Bruce Miller? Right there. If you follow Bruce Miller, he'll take you to the ball. A lot of deception, a lot of shifting, motioning. You watch 49, he'll take you to the football. Arizona Cardinals need to get in on that key.
Well, the 49ers offense finally clicking a little bit here. They've got a nice drive going as we reach the end of the first quarter from Candlestick. Couple of picks for the Niners, but it's the Cardinals in front, 7-6. Just a picture-perfect day in San Francisco. Temperatures right around 70. Just a nice little breeze. See the running game for San Francisco, but today they've done more of the pass on a 2nd down and 1. Good cutback. And it's Kendall Hunter getting the ball and the 1st down.
That's just terrific running. You talk about that one-cut runner. Stick the foot in the ground, get downhill. Tyrann Mathieu again there for Arizona to clean it up. But really nice running by Kendall Hunter.
This 49ers offense has been in the red zone twice, and twice had to settle 4 field goals.
Easy. Cut.
A loaded backfield. They're going to throw it. And they've got McDonald, the rookie tight end. But coming up quickly was Mathieu. Boy, you can see what you're talking about. Bruce Arians saying he's got an instinct for the ball. He's already kind of everywhere over this field, John.
He's all over the field. And Tyrann Mathieu, a tremendous player, as is this youngster out of Rice, Vance McDonald. That's only his 5th catch of the year. But Greg Roman said about Vance McDonald, my bad on that one. We got to get him more involved in the offense. I think they're going to make a concerted effort. Guy's 6'4", 270 pounds playing the tight end position, and he can run.
That was McDonald going in motion. Vernon Davis in the slot, and he's now in motion. Whoa! That was some play by Carlos Dansby coming off his best game of the year against Carolina last week, and we do have a penalty flag.
I tell you, I've never been so happy to see yellow flags after that experiment with the pink ones last week. We can actually see the penalty flags.
Scott Green, our referee today, in his 23rd year. Darrell Washington came back last week after that 4-game suspension, and against Carolina, he and Dansby, the 2 inside linebackers combined, just wreaked total havoc. I mean, 17 total tackles, 4 combined sacks, 2 interceptions, 5 tackles for losses, and then also 2 passes knocked down. I mean, that's 2 players that did that.
Clipping, offense, number 76, 15-yard penalty.
Anthony Davis, the right tackle for the 49ers, called for the clip. Let's watch Davis. He's going to come in at the top of your screen right there. And it's on 98, Frosty Rucker, who he goes down and gets it. Right there. That's a dangerous play and good call by the side judge. Throws it in there. Costly for the 49ers.
Yeah, they've been looking at that too, because kind of a similar play, the peelback block, has been a point of emphasis this year, just trying to avoid getting guys hurt. That's a big penalty now, because the Niners on a 2nd and short now move all the way back, 2nd and 18. Throw it again. Kaepernick can run it, chooses to do so. Kaepernick inside the 10, and he's close to a 1st down. First run of the day for Colin Kaepernick.
And that's frankly, Kevin, something I think he needs to do more of. When you're struggling as a young quarterback, we saw it so much last year. His legs set up the passing game, but if the passing game's not there, if they cover it well, go ahead and run. Look at all this green grass. It's wide open. Go ahead and take it. That will open up the pass game for Colin Kaepernick. Now their challenge is, can they get it in the end zone? They've been down here twice today. The Arizona Cardinals defense has standed strong.
First, they've got to convert the 3rd down. They're 0 for 4 on 3rd downs today. And they go with the big package. Adam Snyder, an extra lineman in number 68. Gore has the 1st down. Frank Gore has the 1st down to the 5, 1st and goal, San Francisco.
Watch Frank Gore. This is their best when they're at their best. Fallen Iupati. He's going to get downhill. Got tremendous vision for a downhill runner, and then the signature. Jim Harbaugh says he just represents the essence of lowness and churning the legs. It's what Frank Gore does so well.
It's a 1st and goal for the 49ers. It's Anquan Boldin in motion. Gore, and he's tackled from behind. Jeremiah Bell made the stop. Gore gains 2. And we saw in that last Kaepernick run, the man defense. Looks like Arizona is going to be in that quite a bit. I mean, every time they go in motion, Peterson's following Bolden.
Greg Roman does a tremendous job of not only creating confusion, but all the motion, all the shifting. What that does is makes the defense reveal itself. If it's man-to-man, someone's running with Vance McDonald or Vernon Davis. Really helps a young quarterback out that motion prior to the snap.
2nd and goal. Kaepernick is going to throw an interception. It's picked off. And it's Bell who's got it for Arizona. One more time, this Cardinals defense stands tall at the goal line.
They put Kaepernick out on the edge, and the Arizona defense stands tall once again for the Arizona Cardinals.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Windows.
No fog in the sky today. We look at the Golden Gate Bridge, but first we look at a good play by Carlos Dansby.
Incredible play, because Colin Kaepernick has a touchdown to Bruce Miller right there. If not for the deflected ball, and Jeremiah Bell does a tremendous job. We've got a catch right there. The one thing, remember, you go under the booth, everything's reviewable, so they may call him down by contact right at the 1-yard line, or even a touchback. We'll see where the contact, the ball.
After reviewing the play, the defender did intercept the ball, but he was touched down at the half-yard line. It'll be Arizona's ball, 1st and 10 at that spot.
That ball just fell forward enough to put him at the half-yard line rather than a touchback, but one more look.
Kaepernick shaking his head because he knows he has a touchdown right there to Miller. But you see the contact. At that point, he's down. The ball is on the half-yard line. What a job by this Arizona defense here early.
Consider this. San Francisco has gotten to the 7, to the 8, and to the 3. And they've got 6 points in this game. I mean, that's unbelievable. What a job by this Cardinals defense so far. And it's the Cardinals in front 7-6 with 11-4 to go in this first half. But now in some jeopardy on the half-yard line to start this drive after the pick.
Really, Kevin, the San Francisco defense has been tremendous. -1 play, the long one to Larry Fitzgerald.
Cardinals possession so far, 3 plays punt, 2 plays punt, 2 more 3-and-outs, and then the 75-yard touchdown. So that they have done something positive on 1 play. As Eric Reed getting the fans involved. John, you know what play CLB is?
I have no idea.
Just checking. Rashard Mendenhall is the back. They're going to give it to the former Steeler, who works hard just to get 2.5 yards on that carry.
And CLB means tackle Mendenhall. Carlos Rogers does a nice job of coming up from the outside and doing just that.
The Cardinals just looking for some momentum. Carson Palmer, 4 of 8 for 80 yards, but again, 75 of those yards on the touchdown to Fitzgerald. He has thrown 2 interceptions so far. And they're going to give to the rookie there, up the middle, try to quick hitter, Stephon Taylor. And it'll be a 3rd down coming up for Arizona. Kurt Menefee has the game break.
And a big matchup between New England and New Orleans right now in favor of the Patriots. Stephen Ridley, his 2nd touchdown run of the game. New England up by 10 at home midway through the 2nd quarter. Kevin, John, and Molly.
John, you know the last time that Tom Brady beat Drew Brees? Michigan against Purdue.
Wow.
His boys are up right now. Cardinals 1 of 4 on 3rd down. And we get a flag.
Delay of game. Offense. Half the distance to the goal. Third down.
And we always hear about, we know that Seattle is a loud place in this NFC West, but it's been rocking at Candlestick today.
It has been rocking, but really puts you in a hole. You've got a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 situation, very manageable. Now you go back to that 3rd and long where you mentioned earlier, only 9% on the year. You really diminish your chances with that penalty.
Cardinals have to get to the 11. Dropped for a safety. It was Corey Lemonier, the rookie from Auburn. And it puts the Niners in front.
And we talked to Carson Palmer. We said, without Aldon Smith, who is it that scares you? He said, not scaring me, but let me tell you, that rookie, number 96, didn't even know his name. It was Corey Lemonier that Carson Palmer was aware of. And Lemonier, Carson Palmer might know his name now.
His first NFL sack, it's a safety. San Francisco in front. 8-7, 49ers take the lead on the Corey Lemonier safety. Now let's meet our Fox Tuesday night starting lineup.
Seth Green, Daz. Yeah. Jake Johnson, New Girl. Ike Barinholtz, the male nurse on The Mindy Project. Yeah. Terry Crews, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah!
All new comedy starting Tuesday at 8/7 Central on Fox. We had the John Lynch tag there too, ripping off the shirt, but that one didn't make the final cut, John. Sorry.
That looked like Lemonier right there. Lemonier coming, and he's been rushing effectively, making up for the loss of Aldon Smith. They're all pro defensive end. Lemonier sacks Carson Palmer.
Now the free kick. Dixon's going to get his hands on it. Now dropping. He's going to fall on it.
You watch Corey Lemonier working against Soule, the left tackle. Remember, put in 2 weeks ago after they traded Levi Brown away. And it's just a bull and then the speed. He's out there on that proverbial island that those left tackles so often are. Carson Palmer enveloped by an outstanding rookie from Auburn, Corey Lemonier.
Now it's a 49ers turn. Put together a terrific drive last time out. Got down to 3 and then threw an interception. Kyle Williams in motion. They give to Gore. And a good run for Frank Gore. His best of the day, fighting forward for a first down.
Just look at this 49er run game. How much is going on? We got this going on. We got that going on. But again, key that guy, 49. He'll take you to the ball every time. Frank Gore, a smart man. He gets right behind him and finds those creases and runs hard. Bruce Miller does an outstanding job as the fullback for the San Francisco 49ers.
Daniel Kilgore, an extra offensive lineman in motion. Penalty flag. Cardinals jump. Kaepernick's got a free play and unloads it to Davis. He's got it. Touchdown, San Francisco. There is a flag, but it's on Arizona, I believe.
Offside. Defense. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
That's just smart football by Colin Kaepernick. First of all, he goes with the hard count, gets Arizona to jump, but then he knows, he understands, Kevin, you're all over it. He's got a free play. Take the shot downfield. And Vernon Davis, we told you they were going to get the tight ends involved. Well, boy, have they. Vernon Davis with a big, big touchdown for the San Francisco 49ers.
4 catches, 96 yards for Vernon Davis. And the extra point is up and good. So, a couple of big plays. The safety by Lemonier, and then Kaepernick sees the penalty, fires it deep. It's Davis on the bomb, and it's San Francisco in front.
Today's game is sponsored by GMC, the official vehicle of the NFL.
Well, let's take a look at that play. Heads up by Kaepernick. The hard count. Ta'amu's going to jump off sides. He understands he's got a free shot. Here comes Vernon Davis. And watch Jeremiah Bell right there. An old adage as a safety, deep is the deepest. He's not as deep as the deepest. Kaepernick finds Vernon Davis. 61 yards later, touchdown 49ers.
Vernon prefers to go with the jump shot after the score. Jimmy Graham, another tight end, does the slam, but Vernon going with the soft J, and it works. Arenas will take a knee. Cardinals take over on their own 20. Well, this game is turned in a hurry. The big safety by Corey Lemonnier, and then Vernon Davis, who had the big touchdown in the fourth quarter against Houston and put it away last week, is going off so far today.
That's explosive. They've been looking for the chunk yardage, and in my mind, the more you study these guys, right now they don't have Crabtree. They don't have Manningham, so where does it have to come from other than Anquan Bolden? The tight ends. Vernon Davis, Vance McDonald. That's your chunk yardage, and they just found a big chunk right there.
First and 10 for Arizona. That's Hausler, the tight end, in motion. And they get it to Hausler. Good blocks. He's got a first down.
You know, Kevin, the interesting thing, we've got a game where we have an 11th-year quarterback and a third-year quarterback. In the last sequence prior to the safety, what did we see? A delay of game, put Carson Palmer back there in the area where they could have a safety. You see the third-year quarterback with the hard count, understanding he's got a shot downfield. He looks like the veteran, the longtime veteran out here.
On a first and 10, Palmer's going to let it fly deep, looking for Golden, just activated. He's got it. They just activated him from the practice squad, and a big gainer. Carlos Rogers on the coverage, but Britton Golden for 53.
Well, I guess that goes under the adage of fresh legs. Just activated from the practice squad. He outruns Carlos Rogers, the 9-year veteran. As they say in football, speed kills. And obviously, Britton Golden has a little bit of that.
A rookie free agent from West Texas A&M. He could have had a touchdown. I'm not sure it made him go down there. He stays in stride. He's got 6. Andre Ellington in the backfield on a first and 10. Up the gut. Ellington. Touchdown, Arizona. Where did the defense go? It was a defensive battle early on, but man, the offenses are clicking now. 15-yard score.
This is what Andre Ellington can do. We asked Bruce Arians about him. When did you know you might have something special? He said about the 3rd day of organized team activities in the offseason, he made a run, and I said, holy cow. And right now, Tremaine Brock is saying, holy cow. He sucks you inside, and then that jump cut. Did the same thing to Darrelle Revis earlier in the season. Guy's got a bright future, does Andre Ellington.
That's the first rushing touchdown in his NFL career for Ellington. Extra point by Feely. Up and good. Well, that's a way to quiet the crowd here in Candlestick. Ellington with a 15-yard run. Niners lead by 1. Well, when you make a big play, you just got called up from the practice squad. You get this. Well, Jeremiah Bell and then Larry Fitzgerald saying, way to go, kid. Carlos Rogers not so thrilled on the big play by Britton Golden on the practice squad. He's not even in the Cardinals media guide, okay? Comes on, but he showed you the speed and made a huge play. The 49ers get the football in front by 1. Kyle Williams gets to the edge of the 22, shoved out of bounds there by Tony Jefferson, and that's where San Francisco will start it off as Carlos Rogers has a little smile now. But how about that? You bring a guy up for a team that has 3 good starting wide receivers, and it's a big play. And Carson Palmer, by the way, after 2 early interceptions, making a case there.
Well, that's what he can do, and that's frankly why they went out and got him. Bruce Arians loves the vertical passing game. That was vertical right there. Carson Palmer can throw the football well down the field, and he does to Britton Golden.
Vernon Davis in motion, first and 10 for San Francisco. A lot of time for Kaepernick, and tipped away, intended for Vernon Davis. But active from Carlos Dansby, who also has another pass deflection earlier that led to an interception.
See, excellent play by Dansby. Again, out in space. That's really athletic because Vernon Davis really, truly, they list him as a tight end. He really is a wide receiver out there, and Dansby doing a terrific job. Dansby in Arizona, goes off to Miami. He's back, and he's playing at a high level.
That's now 9 passes defense this year, John. That's a career high. We're in week 6. That's a lot. Gore on the carry, and not much doing. Arizona's played the run well. We have another game break. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, maybe Jimmy Johnson's pregame speech to the Jaguars worked on the pregame show because they're in it against Denver. Paul Posluszny, 59-yard interception of Peyton Manning returned for a touchdown. They missed the 2-point conversion, so still they trail only by 2 points at halftime in Denver. Kevin, John, and Molly.
Kurt, thanks. We had a late flag as we were sending it to the game break, and that's it. A late shot on the pile after the run by Gore. Just a silly penalty. And that gives San Francisco 15 yards.
Well, it's Darnell Dockett who comes in, and Darnell Dockett, Frank Gore said, we work out together in Miami. I know he doesn't like the 49ers, but not a smart play by Darnell Dockett right there.
San Francisco has an offensive lineman split out wide. What in the world is going on? That's Daniel Kilgore, the backup center. They're going to go to Davis instead. What a catch! Vernon Davis over the shoulder. Willie Mays style here in Candlestick.
Well, they talk about chum routes, drawing people up in coverage. I guess it's Daniel Kilgore that holds Darrell Washington. But Vernon Davis working against the cornerback Gerard Powers, and what a throw by Colin Kaepernick, right on the money.
I'm sorry, but John, before we leave today, I have to see Daniel Kilgore catch a pass. That has to happen. Under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Niners up by 1 on the move. Kaepernick pressured. And he's going to throw it away.
You know, Kevin, we laugh at that Kilgore being out there, and there he is, the big guy. But Greg Roman said a lot of the creativity, the different things they do, is to keep people engaged, keep it fun, keep them wanting to come to work. And sometimes they'll do a game plan that has every decade, the last 4 decades represented, with plays from the 49ers of the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. It's fun offense, and it's effective offense.
It's funny, though, you mentioned that, all those different gadgets. And Darrell Washington, the Cardinals linebacker, told us, you focus on the tendencies. You can't worry about all the shifting and the motioning. But you can see why it's a problem. It takes your eyes away from the prize, which is the football. And Gore just gets leveled. That play had no chance. Calais Campbell made a big play for a loss.
Well, Calais Campbell made a big-time play, and that's a big-time player. Bruce Arians, he likes to coach these guys hard. He said he told Calais Campbell last week, you're the 2nd highest defensive player in the league. It's time to start playing like it. And Calais Campbell responded, and he's at it again today.
He signed a 5-year, $55 million deal before last season. And clearly his best game last week.
Arizona, this is their first charge time.
So the Cardinals take their first timeout here. Each team has taken one in this first half. We've seen a little bit of everything. Defensive stands, a couple of long pass plays. And the offense is getting into a little bit of a groove with the Niners up by 1, 5:09 to play in this first half. Well, you know, it's much more than pink on the field. Together, the NFL and the American Cancer Society helping women across the country make a crucial catch. Hear the personal impact stories. Find out how you can help finish the fight against breast cancer at NFL.com/pink. Tremendous cause. Greg Roman up in the booth. The offensive coordinator for these 49ers was the associate head coach with Jim Harbaugh at Stanford. And John, you watch enough tape. You've seen it over the years. He is creative.
Extremely creative. Love the game plans. He highlights his players. He lets their skills come out. Colin Kaepernick's a big part of it.
3rd and 15. Kaepernick in desperation mode is going to throw it away. Cardinals got heavy pressure. Tyrann Mathieu, they want intentional grounding, and I don't think he was out of the tackle box there. They might have a case. I'd like to see that again. I don't know that he was out of the box here, John. Let's see.
Got beyond the line of scrimmage. It's 4th down.
Yeah, he is out. You know what? Second look, he did do enough to get out, and the ball traveled to the line of scrimmage.
The Honey Badger lets Colin know about it. Kaepernick, sometimes the best throw is that kind of throw. Don't throw it into coverage, throw it out of bounds, let Andy Lee try to pin the Arizona Cardinals back.
Andy Lee's so used to kicking 65-yard punts. This is child's play for him. As because of that, they're going to let the play clock roll down. Who move back
Offense.
an extra 5 yards.
4th down.
They could literally take 4 more of those, and he would still be able to boot it out of the end zone. Lee has got just a terrific leg. Think about Kaepernick so far today, John. You know, he's coming off a game against Houston, and the Cardinals say, they declined that penalty. McKinnon coming off a game off of Houston where he's just 6 of 15, but I'll tell you what, he seems very, very patient today. Throwing the ball away, just kind of waiting for things to open up. Fair catch, Peterson. Cardinals will take over on their own 7. Let's go down the field with Molly.
Thanks, Kevin. Arizona's Tyrann Mathieu has had a big play every single game this season, and I had a chance to talk to him before the game, and he said it's all about effort and staying physical. He said that his main purpose is flying around the field, and when he does that, 9 times out of 10, he's going to be making big plays, and you can see that he's doing that today, Kevin.
He has been active, Molly, that's for sure. I mean, he just does have a nose for the ball. Talking a little smack to Kaepernick, too.
You know who he reminds me of? Bruce Arians said Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, Rondé Barber's the guy he reminds me of. They're very similar. They're always around the football, and when you're around the ball, good things can happen.
Rashard Mendenhall is the back. 4 carries, just 10 yards so far for him. He'll get it on first down. Eludes 1 tackle. And good effort by Mendenhall. Going to pick up 4 yards on first down. Navarro Bowman made the stop. Navarro Bowman has turned in to some player. I mean, he is one of the best linebackers in the league, and it's funny, you get overshadowed by his own teammates so far, you know, sometimes, John, but you talk to Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, he'll let you know, and he let you know a while back how good Bowman was.
He did. I did the game 2 years ago when they first got here as a staff. We were talking about Patrick Willis. At the time, Bowman was a rookie, so let me tell you, I think this 53 might be just as good, and that's high praise when you're talking about Patrick Willis.
Pro Bowler last year, is a give inside, is not going to get much. There's the other linebacker, Patrick Willis, and the Cardinals facing a 3rd down. But first, the game break. Let's check in with Joel Klatt.
All right, Kevin, we go up to Seattle here. Stephen Hauschka, the normal kicker, he was out. So John Ryan, the normal holder, he's got to be the kicker. Chris Maragos, he steps in to hold, fumbles. Jason McCourty ends up in the end zone. Crazy play. Tennessee up 10-7. You get all that, Kevin?
Joel, you know, Tennessee had one against them when the Chiefs did it last week. That's a stunning score. 10-7 at Seattle. Impressive. 3rd and 5 for Carson Palmer and company. Four-man rush over the middle. Ellington has it close to a first down. I think he's gotten it. Reed came up and brought it with a big-time hit, but Ellington held on, and I think he's got a first. We'll check on the spot.
Little lurk coverage. He's just lurking and waiting for anything coming across, and you see him lower the shoulder, adhering to the new emphasis on league rules, getting underneath Ellington. That's a terrific football play. I think he stopped him short.
Second look, he might be right. They will bring the chains out. You know, Eric Reed is a guy that Jim Harbaugh wanted when he was coaching at Stanford. He recruited him out of high school, and you know, he's certainly happy to get him in the draft. We asked Harbaugh. He's got it. First down, so a good hit, but Ellington does just enough. We asked Jim Harbaugh just about that, and he said, well, the difference is, you know, he couldn't say no when I drafted him this time. But, you know, it's funny when you talk about it, and there were some family ties there, and just too many ties pulling him to stay in the New Orleans area.
Absolutely. He stayed out there, and Jim Harbaugh is going to challenge this spot, and I think he may have a case. It's all on forward progress. You look at where the hit is. Remember, the yellow line is not the official line, but it appears as if it's short.
San Francisco is challenging the ruling on the field that it is a first down.
John, I'm with you. I thought initially, just from our vantage point high atop Candlestick, he had it, but that second look, even though the yellow line isn't official, we're always pretty darn accurate. And I'd have to say that is going to be upheld as we get a look.
It's that 17-yard line. Right about there is the line to gain, and it appears as if forward progress is short.
Mike Pereira joins us from LA. Mike, do you agree with us here? What's your take on this call?
Well, I think it's short. I think you got to look at the top of the screen. That's where the head linesman is, by the way. And you've got to look at the stake there. And it looks like you've got to get to the 32-yard line. And so this shot here pretty much shows his forward-most progress spot. So I think you move it back there, maybe measure. On the other hand, I think you can probably do it without even having to measure, knowing that he had to get out to the 17-yard line. I'm sorry, I said that 32, but it's the 17. So to me, you got to place it about a half a yard short, and then I think then it is not a first down.
All right, Mike, thanks. The biggest thing on that impact there with Reed, the ball was in Ellington's right hand, and that was his backhand there. If it's in his left, you can make a case, but because it was in the right, I think, John, you were all over it. Let's get the call.
Nonetheless, I mean, this is a tremendous. Watch Eric Reed right here. This is called lurk, and that's what he's doing. He's just lurking, looking for any crosser, decisive, goes up and makes a solid tackle. So tough to do with the current rules.
After reviewing the play, the receiver was stopped short of the first down marker. The ball will be spotted at the 26.5-yard line, and it'll be fourth down. San Francisco is not charged with a timeout.
Well, that's a heck of a play by Eric Reed. We told you that, Jim Harbaugh wanted to recruit him, and he's a guy who's from New Orleans. His mom Sharon's a traveling nurse, right? So she traveled to the San Jose area, so she had a little pull to Stanford. His dad, though, ran track at LSU, and Harbaugh told us that was tough to overcome. But how about you want to talk about toughness?
16.5-yard line.
Eric Reed's mom, Sharon, John, played tackle football for the Women's American Football League for 1 year for the Baton Rouge Wildcats.
I think she taught her son something. They lose Deshaun Goldson. Some people criticize Trent Baalke, the GM, and Jim Harbaugh of the 49ers for drafting him so high in the first round. I'm telling you, they got a steal, and we're seeing it on display here today.
Zastadil will punt it away. It's a wobbly one. Williams up coming, called a fair catch. Surprised he called a fair catch there. I thought he had some room to run. And nonetheless, though, San Francisco takes over. So 15-14, 49ers in front, John. And this division is interesting right now. Seattle's losing at home. This has been a wild affair so far. What do you make of this NFC West?
It's all over the place. But I tell you, the one thing you know when you have an NFC West matchup, it's going to be physical. It's going to be a little chippy, and we're seeing a lot of big plays out here today. I think it's who can make the least mistakes along with the big plays downfield. Turnovers are going to really decide this game.
Well, it seems like the game is stabilized just a little bit. The crazy turnovers early on. Arizona made a couple defensive stands, and now the offenses have found some sort of rhythm anyway. And some big plays, John, as you mentioned. The biggest one for the 49ers, Vernon Davis, a 61-yard touchdown reception. Little read option. And there is Bruce Miller. Nice catch. Carlos Dansby was there on the coverage, but the two-time Conference USA defensive end from UCF on the grab.
I love what Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator for the 49ers, calls him. He calls him our Swiss Army knife because he does so much for this offense. He's great in the run game. He's very good in the pass game. They put a lot on his plate, and he delivers.
On a 1st and 10, hit as he throws, but he gets it to Vernon Davis. It's a first down. Boy, Kaepernick took a shot from Gerard Powers. A 12-yard hookup. Actually, Dansby came in there.
Third time's a charm. It's actually John Abraham who comes in there unmolested and really puts it into Colin Kaepernick. But Kaepernick hanging tough in the pocket with the strike to Vernon Davis.
Close game in San Francisco with the 49ers leading the Cardinals 15-14. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Find that young man directions to Santa Clara. Niners fan will be moving to the new place next year. That's a great shot. Love it. 2 minutes to go first half. It's a 1st and 10 35-yard line where the Niners have the ball. It's Kaepernick. Airing it out, looking for Davis again. He's got it! Vernon Davis is going off. Seven catches, 171 yards for Vernon Davis.
That's really just an easy read. That's stealing for Colin Kaepernick as he sees Vernon Davis outside one-on-one on Jeremiah Bell. If you're going to get up and press, use your hands, son. There's an old saying, you get them earlier, they'll get you late. And Vernon Davis gets Jeremiah Bell late.
By the way, Colin Kaepernick with a perfect throw. What a day for Vernon Davis and Colin Kaepernick with the connection. Extra point is good. Well, this 49ers passing game has been dormant for a couple weeks. Not today.
Colin Kaepernick does a great job of holding the free safety Tyrann Mathieu with his eyes, knowing the whole time he's got the matchup he wants outside. Puts a strike on Vernon Davis, who's having an absolutely huge day for the 49ers.
He's got 171 of San Francisco's 236 total yards. And he's also 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
Our Bill Rafferty, our new commentator on Fox, will say with the kiss.
And a hug. You know, you think about this connection. And last year, you got to remember, these Niners are playing without Crabtree, who's the #1 receiver, coming back from an Achilles, maybe mid-November. Mario Manningham, maybe he starts to practice this week. Playing without, they're playing without 2 of the top 3 receivers. And Vernon Davis and Kaepernick did not have the greatest of chemistry early last year, John. It was really until the playoffs when that hookup really started to click.
And then this year, Vernon Davis has been hurt. He's been battling a hamstring issue. Talked to him on the field. It's still bothering him. He's fooling us today because it looks very healthy. But Kaepernick is wise to find Vernon Davis.
And he is having himself an afternoon, and Arenas will take it. Cardinals ball on the 20 with 1:55 to go in the first half. And let's get a preview of the Visa halftime show. Kurt Menefee.
All right, thanks a lot. Hey, take a look at what's trending right now on Twitter. That's right, the entire list is from the NFL, including Aaron Rodgers and Chiefs Nation. We'll tell you why coming up on the Visa halftime report when all of us come back and do that highlight thing. See you then.
Kurt, I have a sneaking suspicion that Andy Reid's Chiefs may be 6-0, but I'll let you tell the story. Why not? 22-14, 49ers in front. Cardinals 2 timeouts in 1:55. Palmer ball tipped to the air, and it falls harmlessly to the ground. I think it was Corey Lemonnier who got his big mitts on.
He's a really good football player. Trent Baalke, again, the general manager for the 49ers, does a great job. This is a 3rd-round draft choice, and he's been huge for the San Francisco 49ers this year, particularly with Aldon Smith not on the field.
You think about that. They're trying to fill in for a guy that nearly broke the sack record, and they're doing a very fine job. 2nd and 10. Blitz picked up, and they sling it to Fitzgerald, and not much there. Carlos Rogers on the coverage. It'll be a 3rd down.
Larry Fitzgerald, we talk about hamstring issues. Both he and Vernon Davis gutting it out today because Larry Fitzgerald's been bothered by a hamstring for most of the years, most of the 2013 season. But like you would expect Larry Fitzgerald to do, he's out here playing and playing well.
Third and 6. And Palmer's got a completion over near the first down, but I think he's going to be short. Jerron Brown was the guy who made the grab. Carlos Rogers in the vicinity, but that's going to be shy of a first.
You defend the sticks, let him catch it, but then tackle the catch, get him out of bounds. Carlos Rogers does a fine job of it.
And so a 3 and out. after the touchdown, and now 49ers will have a golden opportunity. They've got 2 timeouts and 1:40 to go. And pressure on Dave Zastudil to get a good punch here. Arizona has to call a timeout.
It's a 30-second timeout.
While the Cardinals take a timeout, we'll check on a game break. Joe Klatt has it for us.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Let's go to Denver. And the Fighting Jags came all the way back. It was 14-12, and now the Broncos getting back on the board in the third quarter. Broncos up 21-12. John, Broncos got to start pulling away from the Jags.
Well, what's going on, Joe? Only 21 points? I mean, come on. They're supposed to have 50 a game.
What are they averaging? Like 46 a game?
46 points a game.
46 a game. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Zastudil to punt it. Gets off a beauty. And Williams looking for a seam. Nice tackle. Arizona did that one well. Justin Bethel, good special teams player after a 51-yard punt. Checking out some of the early games, Cam Newton and the Panthers demolished Minnesota. Sam Bradford had a huge day as the Rams really surprised Houston in that game. And Alex Smith, remember him? 6-0, and those numbers don't blow you away by any means, but 6-0 does. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you like good Indian to story, you know, to stories, and it's working out well in San Francisco with Colin Kaepernick. They get to the Super Bowl representing the NFC, and it's working out really well for Alex Smith and his new home in Kansas City.
San Francisco 2 timeouts, plenty of time, going for Bolden, incomplete. Anquan Bolden doesn't have a catch today.
Well, here's this matchup. Patrick Peterson staying square, using his hands, and then the length again coming in handy for Patrick Peterson. A tremendous football player at the cornerback position. 10 interceptions the last 2 seasons for the Arizona Cardinals.
Second and 10. Stunts picked up. Kaepernick has a first down. There's Bolden with his first catch of the day. Out to the 42. 15-yard pickup, and that'll stop the clock.
Sometimes things that go unnoticed about Frank Gore's game is his ability as a pass blocker. Watch him come through here. He's going to come up on Calais Campbell. He knows he's got a big, tall man. What do? You go at those long legs. Frank Gore, a professional in all aspects of his game. One of the best pass blockers at the running back position in the NFL.
First and 10. Blitz coming. Going to swing it out to Baldwin, fighting his way to get out of bounds, and does. Gerard Powers on the coverage and the tackle. But a good pickup to Baldwin, and again, San Francisco not even using a timeout. They've got 2 in their pockets.
And the thing you've got to be happy about if you're the 49ers and Jim Harbaugh, Colin Kaepernick's starting to establish a rhythm. He's gone through that lull, had his struggles throwing the football. It's starting to happen here today. He's been wise to go to someone like Vernon Davis to get those chunks.
That's Michael Crabtree coming back from an Achilles injury he suffered in OTAs. They're hoping mid-November for him, but Kaepernick throwing the ball just fine today. Pressure. Kaepernick in trouble. There's nowhere to go. Ball's on the ground. Cardinals recovered. Kaepernick dropped the football, and Darrell Washington makes the play. And Arizona now with a timeout in 1:06. Wow.
Todd Bowles dials up some pressure. You got to protect that football. Does Colin Kaepernick, carrying it loose. Dansby, who's been all over the field, gets that football out with that left hand right there, hand on the ball. Kaepernick's got to know people around him put that ball away. Great opportunity for Carson Palmer and this Arizona Cardinal offense before the half.
Boy, Dansby and Washington are some tandem. I mean, they've played not even 6 quarters together, and they are causing all kinds of problems for the offense. And now the Cardinals with a golden chance here, trailing 22-14, 1:06 to go in the half, but they do have a timeout. Palmer's got a year. He's going to air it out deep, looking for Floyd. He's got it. There's a flag, though, and Floyd may have pushed pushed off on Terrell Brown. Let's see. That's coming back.
And rightly so. I mean, there's some subtleties that go along with pushing at the wide receiver position. And nothing subtle about this from Michael Floyd.
Number 15, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, it was worth a shot. Fortunately, he had people looking at him, and the Cardinals really going down the field here today, though, taking those shots that Bruce Arians' offenses are known for. Yeah, he's not thrilled.
He likes those explosive plays, but Bruce Arians, he's going to make this football team better in Arizona. Good football coach, finally got his opportunity.
1st and 20, minute to go in the half. Again, a lot of time. Again, going deep, going to throw it up there, incomplete. Taking a shot to Britton Golden. Why not? He had that big catch earlier, but that time Tremaine Brock had that one all covered up.
Well, everybody's been asking, where's this vertical passing game in Arizona? They're trying to break it out right about now. And Tremaine Brock does a nice job staying behind the receiver in Britton Golden. Britton Golden wants a PI there. And not so fast.
Just a subtle little left from Brock playing the position. Play clock down to 3. They're not going to get it off. That's an absolutely horrific penalty, unless they call the timeout. Did they get it?
Yeah, they did.
They got their final timeout. That's a brutal way to use the timeout. There's a final timeout of the half.
Arizona.
That is horrible.
This is the 3rd and final timeout.
Now, John, you got to get a playoff there. I mean, you burn your final timeout. Now you really put yourself in a hole on a 2nd and 20 with 54 seconds to go.
And you know, Carson Palmer, veteran quarterback, you gotta wonder if there's trouble with getting the communication of the play in. It's happened twice now. They burned that timeout, which is absolutely critical. These are mistakes you just can't have against the team in the ilk of the San Francisco 49ers, who represented the NFC in the Super Bowl last year. Big-time football teams, you can't beat them with mistakes.
I mean, they get the turnover. They're in great position with over a minute to go and a timeout left, and then the penalty, and now they burn the timeout. Now they need something big to happen. It's Andre Ellington, the running back, at the bottom of your screen. Palmer airing it out again for Roberts. He's looking for a hole, but there is no flag. Parrish Cox was there. It's bombs away for this Cardinals offense right now.
See the matchup right there. He wants a little hold, and I'm not so sure he doesn't have a case. Parrish Cox holding on to that left hand of Andre Roberts. He grabs it. He can only go up with the right.
Regardless, it's incomplete. There's 50 seconds to go. Cardinals without a timeout, and most importantly, they've got a 3rd and forever. Three-man rush. Going to dump it off to Ellington, and Ellington is going to get knocked down to the 42, but they don't have a timeout. Then that burning of that timeout is going to cost them a field goal opportunity. Now they're going to have to punt it away. And the Niners will take a timeout here. They've got 2 left and now 1. Try and set up maybe a punt block. Should point out Zastudil, the Arizona punter, is, if not the best, one of the best last couple of years at dropping the ball inside the 20. He leads the NFL with 16 inside the 20 this year.
Really like the aggressiveness Jim Harbaugh and this 49er team have shown today. Right now, the opportunity, 35 seconds left. Call the timeout. Go for the punt block, then give Colin Kaepernick. Maybe you get a field goal out of it. You got to play this game to win. You got to play it aggressive. And Jim Harbaugh and the 49ers are doing that today.
Zastudil gets it off, and this will do exactly what he wants. Fair catch for Williams, just shy of the 15-yard line. 28 seconds left, 1 timeout. And a reminder that coming up, In just a few seconds, the Visa halftime report. I tell you who's still undefeated. The big game between the Saints and the Patriots in New England. A lot to do as we go around the league with Kurt and the boys. Visa halftime report coming up in 28 seconds. John, 28 seconds. You have one timeout, but you're backed up here. You just looks like the Niners are just content to take that 8-point lead into the locker room. And they'll take a knee, and that's exactly what they will do. Entertaining first half and a dominating one for Vernon Davis. All he did was catch 7 balls for 171 yards and 2 touchdowns. His San Francisco 49ers in front of the Arizona Cardinals 22-14. Visa halftime show starts right now. Let's get it to Kurt Menefee in LA. Don't forget, as we get set to start the third quarter and the 49ers in front, that you could follow your favorite team on iTunes. Full games, highlights, and more at itunes.com/NFL. Vernon Davis. Well, that's the first half, John. It's just unbelievable, and Colin Kaepernick hitting him in stride.
And Vernon Davis telling me on the field before the game that his hamstring's bothering him. I think he's pulling the old okey doke on us, and certainly on the Arizona Cardinals. But Colin Kaepernick, he's found a little bit of rhythm here as that half progressed.
Yeah.
Big plays on both sides. Neither team efficient on third down. Arizona 1 of 8, San Fran 1 of 6.
You think about the score where it is right now. It's 49ers 22-14, but consider the Niners had the ball on the 8, on the 7, and on the 3, and they got 6 total points out of those 3 possessions.
And too many mistakes for Carson Palmer and that Arizona offense. It's not good when your first possessions read like this: punt, pick, punt, pick. And that's how the Arizona Cardinals started the game off. They did find some big plays out there, though, and that's an encouraging sign.
Because of those big plays, it kept them in. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald had the long touchdown, 75 yards. They had a big play in there, the throw to the young wide receiver, bobbled in the end zone. And Kyle Williams now gets decked all the way back at the 5-yard line. That is not where you want to start it for San Francisco. Let's go down the field with Molly McGrath.
Thanks, Kevin. Pat Peterson's doing a great job on Anquan Boldin, who has just 1 catch so far in this game. But I talked to Bruce Arians at the half, and he said that his biggest concern is, of course, Vernon Davis. He said that Davis's size makes him a really tough matchup, and they have to take him out of this game or they'll give away this win. So look for Arizona to target Vernon Davis in that second half. Kevin?
All right, Molly, thanks. You got to do something to Vernon Davis. I mean, 7 for 171. That's a couple weeks worth, that's for sure. After the miscue by Williams, the Niners starting off at their own 5 in this second half. And it's Gore muscling up and carrying Carlos Dansby for a few yards. Well, John, it's been Vernon Davis's show today.
It has been. That was the offsides that Kaepernick knew he had him. The corner. He's playing like a wide receiver. They're struggling with their wide receivers other than Anquan Boldin. So what do? You go to Vernon Davis, and Vernon Davis having himself quite a day for the San Francisco 49ers.
On second down, it's Frank Gore. Tries to sneak through the line, but not really any place to run. Carlos Dansby, they've done a good job on Frank Gore. Conversely, he's got 12 carries for just 27 yards. So passing game has been the issue for this Cardinals defense, and the numbers in a lot of ways are pretty close.
They are. You see the first down. San Francisco has sustained some drives. They failed to punch it in the end zone down when they've gotten into the red zone, and that's kept this game as close as it is.
A 3rd and 3. Kaepernick changes the play. Read option. Trying to get to the outside, and that's a heck of a pursuit by Tyrann Mathieu. I don't think he got the first down. What a play.
Absolutely. And I know Colin Kaepernick is a quarterback, but you got to get downhill right now. You got a first down. He does the perfect read. John Abraham goes down, and look at that space that he has. Tyrann Mathieu doing a tremendous job going and making a great football play. Not an easy guy to bring down in Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick's got to see that first down and get downhill.
And after the miscue on the fumble on the kickoff, the Niners go 3 and out. Lee Peterson's going to let this one bounce. And it takes a bounce the Niners' way, but pretty good field position for Arizona when we come back. Their first drive of the second half, Kaepernick upset. He couldn't make that read option work. The reason why? Tyrann Mathieu, the rookie, playing big-time ball today.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by the new 2014 Dodge Durango.
So many great sights to see in this tremendous city of San Francisco. The Palace of Fine Arts is one of them. Good shot on a beautiful day in Northern California. At times, this 49ers offense has been outstanding, mainly when targeting Vernon Davis, but at times they've been out of sync. And now the Cardinals trailing 22-14, their first possession of the second half. Looking for a little running room, and Mendenhall working hard and fighting forward for an Arizona first down. It was Eric Reed coming up to make the stop.
Rashard Mendenhall doing his best Frank Gore imitation. Looks like he's stymied right there at the line of scrimmage, keeps the legs churning, and watch the finish on this run. Continues to keep the legs going. Not down yet. Still going. First down, Arizona.
Mendenhall and Taylor are the backs. It's Michael Floyd in motion. Blitz coming for Whitner, and Palmer will get it away to Jim Dre, who on first down, short pickup. Carlos Rogers was there, so was Bowman on the tackle. We have a game break. Joel Klatt has it for us.
All right, thanks, Kevin. And we go out to New England, where the Saints have marched right back in this one. They tie it up at 17 on the Kyrie Robinson 3-yard touchdown run. A game in Foxborough. Kevin.
Sean Payton told us, John, about Kyrie Robinson week 2. Said watch him when he gets healthy. He's been a factor for the Saints. They come back from 10 down to tie it. 2nd and 6 for Arizona. And they got a first down. That's notable considering in the first half, John, these Cardinals had 10 possessions, and 9 of them were 3 plays. Now, granted, one of those possessions was a 3-play touchdown drive, but it's a sustained drive they haven't done today.
You got to follow the trail. Remember, early in this game, Glenn Dorsey, their nose tackle, went out of the game. The Cardinals now recognizing that they've got backup players in there in the middle, and they're running right at them.
Mendenhall getting going a little bit on this drive. Now 8 carries for 33 yards. And they'll hit Michael Floyd. And Floyd is shoved out of bounds by Brock inside the 35, down to the 34. Eric Reed has had a nice day at a 53-yard interception return. It's been a game of back and forth jabs. Ellington in the backfield, and he gets the draw with a lot of room. Andre Ellington down to 20. Ellington picks up 14 on the carry. He had a lot of room to run before Whitner brought him down.
I tell you what, this kid's fun to watch run. Beautiful design. Sowell out front. Well, not anymore. And Ellington says, get out of my way, big boy. I'm going to go get it. You see him push Lemonier up the field. Sold there at the left tackle. And then Ellington doesn't have time for his left tackle to get off the front. Great execution by the Arizona Cardinals.
Mendenhall back in there at tailback on a 1st and 10 from the 20. Go with Mendenhall, and this Cardinal run game is starting to gain some ground. He's down to the 15. That's a 5-yard gain.
Again, real nice halftime adjustments by Bruce Arians and this Arizona Cardinal offense. They see something that the 49ers without Glenn Dorsey susceptible right up the gut, and they're going after it.
You know, in the second half against Carolina last week, with the Cardinals trailing 6-3, they went to this same game plan, and Mendenhall and specifically Ellington really got chunks of yardage. It's Ellington in there now on a 2nd and 5. A lot of time. Palmer throwing to the pylon, incomplete. I think Andre Roberts was the guy he was looking for, but he ran a different route.
This is an area, the red zone, where Carson Palmer has struggled mightily this year. for the Arizona Cardinals. And it's critical right now. 3rd and 5. You see those numbers, a 40.2 passer rating, 2 interceptions, only 30% completion percentage in the red zone, and communication issues again. Looks like they're going to have to burn another timeout.
I don't know how in the world this could happen. This is a horrible timeout at this point early in the 3rd quarter. Palmer isn't happy about it. He's got his team on a good drive, trailing by 8. Coming into today, the Cardinals were terrible on 3rd down, and at 12.5% today, that's even worse. Here, 3rd and 5, and they've had a good drive, the 8th play of the drive for Arizona.
The 3rd down killer for San Francisco has been Eric Reed right there.
Palmer looking for Fitzgerald. He's got him right at the marker. Terrell Brown out there, and Fitzgerald should have the 1st down. The spot on that side of the field by the marker was not great, but I think they're going to put it right at the 10, which should give him the 1st.
Good accurate throw by Carson Palmer to Larry Fitzgerald, enough for the 1st down. We'll see if Carson Palmer and the Arizona Cardinals can sneak it in the end zone.
Well, Andre Ellington will come on in. Yeah, he's got the 1st, I think. Good work by our crew right there. Clearly a 1st down. Shotgun for Palmer. Get to the line quick and air it out. Looking for Floyd. Touchdown. He beat Terrell Brown. Michael Floyd, 2nd-year man from Notre Dame.
Yeah, here, go get you one, Mike. Go get you one, buddy. And he's just going to run a corner route. Muscles his way through Terrell Brown, and that's a beautifully thrown football by Carson Palmer. He struggled in the red zone this year, but not right there. You can't throw it any better. And Michael Floyd does the best. The rest, right foot down, left foot down, touchdown, Cardinal.
And John down by 2 here early in the 3rd quarter. A little surprising. Bruce Arians going to go for 2. This is early. Patrick Peterson in the game. This is his 1st offensive snap. There he is, going for 2 in the tie. Peterson's got it. Thought about throwing it. He's just going to throw it up there to no mansville, and it's picked off. Doesn't matter. 2 points, no good. Carlos Rogers was the guy that got it, but it's just a failed conversion of the 2-point try. Here's a beautiful throw by Palmer, but the 2-point try comes up short. Niners lead, trimmed to 2.
Well, here's the 2-point conversion, a little razzle-dazzle. They're going to fake. This is designed for Patrick Peterson to come back, and he wants to throw to Larry Fitzgerald right there. But Tremaine Brock does a great job of recognizing that they're trying to throw to Fitzgerald, and Patrick Peterson has nothing. Kevin, I'm not so sure I like that call. This much game left. Every point's important. I think you take the extra point there. And if not, if you go for 2, I'm not so sure on the razzle-dazzle.
I happen to agree, and we'll see if it comes back to bite Arizona. Kyle Williams fumbled his last kick return. Not this one. Nicely done across the 25. We've got our latest update, and Joe Klatt has it for us.
All right, thank you, Kevin. And we head up to Seattle, where Marshawn Lynch from 3 yards out. 2nd of the day, and the Seahawks have gone up by 10, 20-10. Back to San Francisco. Kevin.
Titans are playing hard for Mike Munchak this year. I'll say that, especially without their starting quarterback Jake Locker. But Seattle now looking to go to 5-1. You see our game of huge importance today in St. Louis with a monster win in Houston. They just obliterated the Texans, who are spiraling out of control right now. 1st and 10 for Kaepernick and company. And it's Gore and company. Frank Gore. Big run.
He's so good. We saw the 49ers try to loosen this Arizona Cardinal defense up with the pass early. Now you go to hammer him with Frank Gore. You've had so much success the last couple weeks. Again, yards after contact by Frank Gore. Does such a great job of always keeping his legs going. Such great vision Frank Gore's a tremendous NFL football player at the running back position.
A 32-yard run, so Kendall Hunter will spell him now. And that one just never got off the ground for the 49ers. You know, John, we were talking to Gore, and you know, so much about him. Let's see what happened there. Just drop snap. Kaepernick had to dive on. He just missed it flat out. Gore back in the game now. And you talked about his decision to skip Ole Miss and go for the competition at Miami, but in the offseason, he's got plenty of competition too. He doesn't shy away from training with the young guys, does he?
He does not.
And they split him out top of your screen as a wide receiver. Finish that in a moment on a 2nd and 11. Kaepernick, ripped out. Oh, did that one get picked? No, hit the ground. It was intended for Vernon Davis, and I believe it was Dansby there. Well, Carlos Dansby is just everywhere in the pass game.
He is, and you're looking for the answer on Vernon Davis. It looks like Carlos Dansby might be your best option. That is a great football play by Carlos Dansby. The ball's in Vernon Davis' hands. He gets that hand in there, rips it out. Great football play by a guy who's having a really, really good day.
That's a 10th pass defense by Dansby, a career high. It's week 6. It's the kind of year he's had, 3rd and 11. And a penalty flag as we have some movement on the Niners line.
False start. Offense number 85. 5-yard penalty.
It's the first thing wrong Vernon Davis has done all day.
We saw the extended count by Kaepernick, and sometimes those offensive players get antsy on a long extended snap count by the quarterback, and Jim Harbaugh now has a decision to make on 3rd and 16. Not a lot of choices on 3rd and 16.
A draw, and that is going to go nowhere. John Abraham blew it up, and the Niners will punt. Conservative play call from San Francisco.
That's 3rd and 16. Like I said, not a whole lot of options with that down and distance. Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. He came from Philly last year. Didn't have a lot of success there, but Bruce Arians coached Todd Bowles at Temple University when he was the head coach. Todd Bowles is doing a tremendous job with his staff and this defense here in Arizona.
Patrick Peterson had an 18-yard return, first punt return of the game, standing back from Andy Lee. Has no chance of returning this one. And takes a Cardinal bounce. Arizona will have it on their own 20-yard line. We come back down 2 as we look at San Francisco. Gorgeous shot today. So you want to be a head coach in the NFL. There's all kinds of pressures and stress and nail-biting things that go on. Many faces. Niners coach Jim Harbaugh, and there are plenty. We saw a few of them in our meeting the other day, John.
We did. Many faces, but one thing that's quite clear, this guy can coach some football.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's USD, whether it's Stanford, whether it's the San Francisco 49ers, any level, this guy wins football games.
1st and 10 for the Cardinals. They're down by 2, and they're going to throw a little swing pass to get Fitzgerald involved. Out across to 23. Never be without football. Remember, get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call Star NFL. Download it right now. I've got it on my phone, John. I don't know about you.
Football on your phone.
New video after the game starring John Lynch here at Candlestick. Good shot of Dante Whitner on a 2nd down. Bring up a 3rd and short. Cardinals really sticking with that run, trying to get Ellington going. Very similar to what happened last week.
Well, it's working. I mean, here they are in a 3rd and 2 situation. You see Jim Harbaugh doesn't like those 3rd and 2s. 3rd and 2 gives the offense a lot of opportunities, a lot of things at the disposal of Bruce Arians. You see he splits out Andre Ellington up top as a wide receiver.
Time for Palmer, and he unloads over the middle. He's got a completion of Floyd. First down for the Cardinals. Terrell Brown on the stop, but Carson Palmer, after 2 early interceptions, sitting his stride.
Well, pass protection's been an issue in Arizona. Bruce Arians says it's a work in progress. That's a nice pocket. Plenty of time for Carson Palmer. And when you give Carson Palmer, he's a classic pocket quarterback. He can deliver. There's another one of the many faces of Jim Harbaugh.
Michael Floyd with the catch. He's got a touchdown today, 4 for 35. And this Cardinals offense finding themselves. A quick hitter go to Floyd again. Nice move. He's inside the 45. And a 2nd and 1 coming. Tremaine Brock was the man on the tackle.
Michael Floyd, Bruce Arians called him our most steady guy, and that's saying something when you have Larry Fitzgerald on the other side. They feel like he's really coming into his own in his 2nd year from Notre Dame. This is a guy that Carson Palmer says deceptively fast. He's one of those long striders, can really eat up ground on these defensive backs.
What did Palmer tell us? He wants to run people over. He's got that aggression. That time he used a little sidestep. 2nd and 1. Mendenhall is the tailback. That's Fitzgerald in motion. Mendenhall picks up the blitz. Palmer just missed Fitzgerald, who got open, but he overthrew him just a little bit.
We showed you Frank Gore earlier on pass protection. Rashard Mendenhall does not do a good job. That affects Carson Palmer, and the end result is an overthrow to Larry Fitzgerald.
Cardinals are 3 of 10 on 3rd down. Give up the gut. They got it there. So the Cardinals going to the power game, and the run game's working in this half.
The consistent theme is right where their injured starter went out. Glenn Dorsey goes out in the first series of the game. They're going right behind Lyle Sinline and Darren College right up the middle. Tony Girardetti in for Glenn Dorsey.
John, Arizona does not have a 100-yard rushing game as a team this year. They're up to 96 rush yards today. First down with Mendenhall in the backfield. Palmer, again a good pocket, high to Fitzgerald. That was risky. Terrell Brown was there, but that's a play that Fitzgerald was open.
Carson Palmer gets a lot of time as Larry Fitzgerald, but a great job of Terrell Brown coming off the coverage and making a break along with Dante Whitner on the ball. These San Francisco 49ers defensive backs, they kind of lie and lurk in the woods, and then boy do they strike.
8 targets to Larry Fitzgerald, just 3 completions, one of them a 75-yard touchdown. 2nd down, Ellington, little sidestep move and a nice run. Dante Whitner was there, so was Patrick Willis. Bruce Arians told us about Andre Ellington a couple things which I thought were really impressive. And he said you put on another 10 pounds on him, he's Darren Sproles.
That's high praise, and you see it. I mean, that's just not hyperbole. You watch the film, this guy jumps off the film. He's one of these darting, explosive players. Bruce Arians said at the combine he ran a 4.640. It's a good thing everybody else didn't know he had a pulled hamstring, because he's a 4.4 type speed guy.
A 3rd and 1. Cardinals bring an extra lineman, and they force San Francisco to take their first time out of the half. We've got a tight game here at Candlestick Park. Arizona, San Francisco. Niners by 2 to play, 3rd quarter. Arizona's got 55 rushing yards this quarter. Big reason why he's out.
Kevin, I'll tell you right here, 3rd and a short, half a yard maybe. Great opportunity to go deep, take a shot, knowing you have 4th down and short yardage.
They're going to give it to the up man. It's Smith, I believe. No, it was Stephon Taylor, number 30. He's got a first.
But if you're not going to take the shot, give it to the guy who played at Stanford.
Yeah,
he'll always get it.
First ever, by the way, with 3, count them 3 1,000-yard seasons at Stanford. That's saying something. And really, technically, he's the 4th back on this squad. But Bruce Arians going and giving some young guys a chance today.
He's very high on Stephon Taylor as Bruce Arians. Talking to him on the field before the game, he said he's done everything we've asked. He's going to be a really good football player. for us for a long time.
And now we have a Niners player who's down. And this is a real issue. That's Tony Gerard Eddy. With Dorsey already out of the game, Eddy is in one of only 2 extra reserve linemen, and maybe this is a cramp the way they're stretching him.
It's looking like it's a cramp, and that's what happens to a backup when they're playing starter reps. They aren't used to playing starter reps, and so you start cramping. Dorsey, unfortunately, it's not a cramp. It looks like he at least strained that hamstring, and they're dearly missing him right now. And if you look at any bright side for the 49ers, help may be coming. Quentin Dial and Tank Carradine coming off the PUP list this week.
Vic Fangio's defense, this is a team, they have so many talented players. They keep the scheme pretty simple, but John, Arizona's keeping it simple too. I mean, what they have done in this third quarter now, 57 yards rushing in this third quarter alone, and they're controlling this game even though they're down by 2 right now.
They're running the football with success right up the middle, and then the other adjustment, the quick throws right at the line of scrimmage. That's essentially an extension of the run game. Nice rhythm for the Arizona Cardinals offense in the second half.
On a first down, a fake to Mendenhall. Pressure coming. Palmer sees it, drilled as he throws, and he missed a wide open man, Hausler. Rob Hausler got open in the Niners secondary, but Palmer had to run from pressure.
Carson Palmer had pressure, did a great job of stepping up in the pocket. I think at some point, Rob Hausler, you got to make a play. He's a guy they've talked about for a long time in Arizona. He gives them that vertical element at the tight end position, but you see a lot of this. Maybe not the best of throws, but you got to make a play at some point.
They got him turned around the wrong way, and a missed opportunity. Gerard Eddy back in on that defensive line for San Francisco. Second down, quick hit, Fitzgerald on the slant. Ball pops loose, and the Niners are going to recover. It's Eric Reed, the guy that came up with it. Waiting to see if they were going to say Fitzgerald was down, but apparently not.
I think it's Eric Reed who strips it and recovers. Actually, Patrick Willis right there with the left hand. This is going to be close as to whether that ball was out.
Yeah, it's out. It's out. It popped out. Heck of a play by Patrick Willis, and then the rookie Reed, his second turnover today.
See if this knee's down prior.
Nope.
Left knee down. Ball's already out. Great play by Patrick Willis, the all-pro middle linebacker.
Boy, turnovers have played an enormous key. Remember, every turnover is reviewed. That's a catch and a fumble for the usually reliable Larry Fitzgerald. But here's Arizona dominating the game on the ground, putting together a great drive, and then an enormous play by Patrick Willis. Niners football, they lead by 2 minutes, 7 to go, third quarter. Kaepernick is going to have a completion. It's Anquan Bolden on the receiving end. Patrick Peterson there on the tackle.
You talk about great players, and the one commonality, they just have a knack for not only making big plays, but making them when his team needs it most. Here the Cardinals have a nice rhythm going offensively. Carson Palmer sees the blitz coming, gets it to Larry Fitzgerald, who's there, but Patrick Willis making another great play for the 49er defense.
Michael Crabtree anxious, waiting to get back to contribute to this Niners offense. He's probably a month away, though. So they'll just keep giving it to Frank Gore. He's had a tough time running today. He had the one big run. This Cardinals defense has been third in the league coming in against the run, has lived up to that reputation.
Here we are on third down again, and not only Arizona that had struggled, but San Fran only 1 of 8 on third down here today.
This clash in the AFC West looks like we're heading down the wire. End of quarter number 3. The 49ers 22, the Cardinals 20. Big fourth quarter from San Francisco coming up next. It's been quite the game in San Francisco today. There's been some big plays, some big turnovers, and a big early season matchup in the NFC West as Jim Harbaugh's defending division champ 49ers have themselves in a pretty good fight against these Cardinals, trying to legitimize their season right now. 3-2, Their D has played great, and they're the reason we're in this game. Third down for Kaepernick. And they convert to the reliable man, Anquan Boldin. First down, San Francisco. Peterson on the coverage.
You talk about really good players making really good plays when your team needs it most. Here's an example. Anquan Boldin been relatively quiet today, being covered by Patrick Peterson all over the field, but his team needs a big third down. He produces.
Just the second third down that the Niners have converted today. Boldin's third catch, he's got 28 yards. Here's Gore. And it looked like there was going to be a decent running lane there, but it covered up pretty quickly. Dansby and Abraham converged on the stop, 3-yard gain.
This offensive line does such a tremendous job for the San Francisco 49ers. That left side of Staley and Upati is about as good as it gets. Tremendous football players. Alex Boone and Davis man the right side. Jonathan Goodwin in the middle. As I mentioned earlier, in my mind, the best offensive line in football.
Second and 7. Kaepernick pressure. He's going to let it fly out of bounds. And we have an update. Let's go to Joe Klatt in L.A.
All right, thanks, Kevin. We go back to Denver, where Noshan Moreno is going to seal this one up. His third touchdown run of the day. Broncos go up 35-19, and that one has just gone final. Peyton Manning and the Broncos stay perfect over the winless Jaguars. Back to you in San Francisco, Kevin.
All right, Joel. So they had some difficulty. Jaguars put up a good fight there. Peyton Manning has been ridiculous. By the way, Seattle beat Tennessee 20-13. Tight game there, but Seahawks now 5-1, and now watching this field, sure. 3rd and 7. Blitz coming, and they unload and have a first down and more. He finds his man that time. It was Kyle Williams, and against the blitz, Colin Kaepernick has been tremendous. A 123 rating, 3rd best in the league.
And here comes the blitz. Out of the top of your screen, you're going to see Tyrann Mathieu come into it. There he is. Colin Kaepernick goes where the vacated zone is and hits Kyle Williams, who does a great job of making something happen after the catch.
Monday.
Frank Gore gets through the first level. First down and more. Gore is down to the Arizona 43 before Jeremiah Bell made the tackle. It's a 15-yard run.
We talked about that left side of the offensive line. Watch Staley come down, seal it. Upati kicks him out. Frank Gore, he gets a little crease. He's going to do some damage. He's always finishing runs, but you got to give credit to the big boys up front. Frank Gore, he does it every chance.
Monday.
Kendall Hunter spells Gore in the backfield. Vernon Davis in motion. No catches this half after 7 for 171 in the first. Hunter, not much. Jeremiah Bell came up to make the hit after a short gain, and Frank Gore, the workhorse.
Tell you, the 49ers getting into run mode, in Arizona, and Todd Bowles feeling like they have to make a play or load in this box. Opportunity for a one-on-one situation outside, and a big play.
Blitz coming, and Kaepernick incomplete. Mathieu was again there against Williams.
Watch Darrell Washington almost has a pick. He's just going to read Colin Kaepernick's eyes and gets his hand on the ball. Very similar to a pick he had last week versus Cam Newton. Darrell Washington all over the field once again.
They had that one-handed pick against Newton last week in a big spot. 3rd and 10, Niners have converted their last 2 third downs. On the blitz, there's Davis. See where the spot, the all-important spot is. He may be a hair short. It's his first catch of the half. Bell on the tackle. Where do they put this football down?
See the catch. Jeremiah Bell does a really nice job of coming up and making the tackle. He's not down yet until right there. We'll see if they factored that into the spot. Right about here, his hand is the only thing down. He's on top of Bell. He falls forward. They're going for it on 4th down.
They're 3 of 5 on 4th down this year. And now Jim Harbaugh is going to use the challenge.
I think they saw exactly what we saw, that Vernon Davis was on top of Jeremiah Bell's head and was not down, and they want to check this spot out.
Well, let's see.
He's not down here. You're not down when your hand is down.
San Francisco is challenging the ruling on the field.
Let me ask you a question. Where the ball is right now, the officials see exactly what we say. What we see. Is that enough to overturn it? I say it's not. Challenged by Jim Harbaugh. We come back.
This game on Fox is sponsored by Nissan. Innovation that excites. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by Sprint.
Those fans waiting with bated breath for this call.
After reviewing the play, the receiver was still short of the 33-yard line, which he needed for a 1st down. San Francisco will be charged a timeout.
Yeah, see, I didn't think that replay was enough to overturn it, and that's a timeout for San Francisco, and they've used both the challenges. That's a big issue.
It is, and you know, I think what San Francisco saw is what we saw, him being on top of Jeremiah Bell, but the referees saw that too, and they got the correct spot. Now Harbaugh doesn't hesitate and leaves his offense out there, and with this offensive line, I don't disagree. I think this is the right decision.
Ginormous play on a 4th and 1. Niners by 2 in the 4th. They give to Miller. And the big fullback, the Swiss Army knife, gets it done. 1st down.
We've seen Bruce Miller as a lead blocker. We've seen him as a receiver. Now we see him as a ball carrier. And how about that for the okie doke? Everyone's thinking Frank Gore. Give it to Bruce Miller, the former defensive end from UCF. And he goes behind that left side of the offensive line again. And the many faces of Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh.
Greg Roman happy about that. John Deception, that's the first 3 yards rushing for Miller this year. He had been used pretty well as a ball catcher out of the backfield, but that's the first 3 yards rushing, and it gets a 1st down as they tend to one of the Niners down there. It is Mike Iupati. It's a big issue. John has talked about it all game. Maybe the best pulling guard in the NFL. We'll take a break. They tend to Iupati. Big 1st down for the Niners on the move.
Deception as to who they handed it off to, but no deception. You see that left side of the offensive line. Iupati, Joe Staley blowing the Arizona Cardinals off the ball.
Frank Gore on the 12th play of the drive for San Francisco. This has been a money drive for them, their best of the day, but looking to finish it off with points. We should remind you, earlier in this game, they had 2 picks brought them down inside the red zone. Another drive brought them down the red zone. John, they were at the 8, at the 7, and at the 3. And they got 6 combined points out of that. So they've got to finish the deal here, up by 2.
Move!
2nd down at Gore. Stutter step move. 1st down for the Niners. Update time. Let's go to Joel Klatt.
All right, thanks, Kevin. And we take you to New England. No catches for Jimmy Graham. That's all right. Let's go to the rookie, Kenny Stills. And he got it. 35 yards from Breeze. First career TD. And the Saints take the 1-point lead, 24-23. Back to San Francisco, Kevin.
Wow. That's a game right there in Foxborough. Saints looking to remain unbeaten. A couple of 3-2 teams here in the 4th. Niners by 2. 1st down. Gore powering forward. Well, we talked talked about the Arizona run game getting going. This Niners run game is taking over on this drive.
One thing Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, is for the San Francisco 49ers is honest. Big boy football right here. Greg Roman said in the first half we're going to loosen them up, then we're going to pile drive them. I call that a pile drive. The offensive line up front pushing. Adam Snyder, Bruce Miller, and Frank Gore, as always, keeping those legs driving. Looks like an old 49er running back, Roger Craig.
15th play of the drive. Gore again, that time nowhere to run. Cardinals stacked it up pretty good. It was John Abraham. And, you know, watching this drive, it brings us back to our conversation with Colin Kaepernick. We look at this last play. 2 plays ago in the block.
Downhill running. Adam Snyder in for Upati. Doesn't matter who's in there. They're going to pull him. And Frank Gore is going to run downhill, and he's going to keep those legs driving. That is excellent football. Fun to watch.
John, what did Kaepernick tell us? You know, I think it was getting back to this style. We've done so much of the read game, of the pass game. We lost a little bit of that smash mouth football. It's working today, but again, red zone has not been their friend. 3rd and 1. And they've got a first down. Dansby with the stop. 1st and goal, San Francisco.
Again with Frank Gore, it's just the yards after contact. Darrell Washington gets in the backfield, but Frank Gore, it's that will. He refuses to go down. Could have had him right there. That's Darrell Washington. That's Carlos Dansby. Falling forward is Frank Gore. He's always falling forward.
This is a monster drive. 17th play and a 1st and goal with Kendall Hunter in the game at tailback. They give it to Miller. Going to get stonewalled at the 6. Washington, Dansby, and a couple others there.
We asked Frank Gore about his buddy Bruce Miller, who he's always running behind. Said he's a beast, and he said, you know what? He's got a pretty good one coaching him. Tom Rathman, running back coach, former fullback for the San Francisco 49ers, does a tremendous job with these backs. He's got an emerging star at the fullback position in Bruce Miller. Very unsung player for the San Francisco 49ers.
Anquan Boldin, top of your screen, is Kendall Hunter at tailback. Hunter gets it. Up the middle, and he barrels in. Touchdown, San Francisco. There's a flag, and that's going to be on Arizona, I think, as they threw Hunter to the ground. Matthew, this should stand.
To see power football. Upati turning up. Bruce Miller, huge hole. Anthony Davis. And Tyrann Mathieu, you just can't do this. In the end zone, he throws him down. That's valuable field position. Anquan Boldin says that's not right, young man.
That was some drive. Some drive that took up.
There are 3 fouls that will all offset after the touchdown. 2 fouls for personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 75. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 81. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 32. Those fouls all offset after the touchdown.
The bottom line is the touchdown counts after a bunch of silliness after the score. Kendall Hunter muscles it in on a drive that took up 9 minutes.
That's what I'm going to say. The bottom line is what an impressive drive by the San Francisco 49ers. And as Greg Roman says, we're going to pile drive it at the end. And they pile drived it on that drive.
Dawson on for the extra point. It's up and it's good. And it's a 9-point 49er lead. What a drive. 18 plays, 89 yards, 9-19. And the 49ers in control in the 4th.
Game is sponsored by Pizza Hut. Prep for game day by ordering online from Pizza Hut. Make it great.
18 plays, 89 yards for the 49ers. 18 plays is the longest drive for a touchdown by anyone in the NFL this year. Greg Roman watching over his offense. They put it together and give San Francisco a 9-point lead, but a lot happened on that play after it was over, which we'll show you in a second. Dawson will kick it off. Arenas may think of returning it, but no, a little too deep. I don't want to pick it up, though. And this has been an emotional battle in the NFC West. Matthew, Bolden, Kaepernick, and the Niners in front. Carson Palmer and the Cardinals have work to do. They trail by 9, 6:35 to go in the game from Candlestick.
Important thing here, Kevin, 6:35, plenty of time, 2-score game. Doesn't matter whether you get the touchdown now or the field goal now. You got to get points on this drive, though.
Palmer's going to find a man wide open. It's Hausler, the tight end. And he stopped shy by Brock of a first down. Here's after the touchdown.
I want you to watch right here. We all cite Tyrann Mathieu, but there's Alex Boone on his back with the right to Ta'amu. Little kick there, too, that he gets away with. And then he got greeted by his head coach, who didn't like that. It cost him 15 valuable yards, and Alex Boone making his case. Now, Kaepernick coming to the aid, trying to cool his offensive lineman down.
I think he said, I'd like to have coffee with Ta'amu after the game. I'm not sure. Couldn't read the lips. As a first down for the Cardinals, and ball's loose. Who's got it? 49ers say they do. Waiting on a signal. Still uncovering the pile. 49ers football.
Alphonso Smith carrying the football, and ball's out. Clearly, you see it right there. Ball's out. 49ers defense steps up once again.
Now that is clearly going to be a fumble, and it will be the 4th turnover of the game from Arizona. Think about where this all started. Arizona was putting that great drive together before Patrick Willis stripped Larry Fitzgerald, and then they went on that epic 18-play drive, and now they've got a chance to really salt this one away.
I think, Kevin, the one thing you got to wonder, Rashard Mendenhall has been running the ball well in the second half. Ellington's been running the ball well. Alphonso Smith, why have him in there at that critical juncture in the game?
It's a great question. He's the 3rd running back on the team. 1st and 10, 5:56 to go. San Francisco up 9, and here's Frank Gore. Down to the 25. It's a gain of 6.5. Let's go to Joel Klatt in L.A.
All right, thank you, Kevin. And after the OT right here on Fox, it is game 2 of the ALCS as David Ortiz and the Boston Red Sox look to even the series with the Detroit Tigers. That's all coming up on Fox. Kevin.
Boston needs a hit to win the game, though. They didn't have any of those in the 9th inning last night. It's Scherzer and Buchholz, the pitching matchup tonight on Fox.
I think Harbaugh would like David Ortiz. He'd fit in this 49er mentality. Tough guy.
I'd still like to see Daniel Kilgore catch a touchdown, but that's a whole other thing. Catch a pass, I should say. Frank Gore on the short game on second, of course, joking around. Remember earlier, the Niners ran Kilgore out, lined up as a wide receiver, as a decoy, if you will, and that is over 100 yards. There's Kilgore, anxiously waiting to get in. Frank Gore now, John, is 24 for 104 yards, his 34th career 100-yard game.
He's a tremendous player.
An injury on the field, I think. It's Campbell.
Calais Campbell, such a good football player for this Arizona Cardinal defense. You see him making plays all over the field.
They tend to Calais Campbell. We'll be back to Candlestick. Well, Calais Campbell is on the ground, the fine defensive end, and here's how he got hurt.
He can go in and he hits his top of his head on his own teammate's leg there. Opening those hands. Good sign is that he's moving everything. They have stabilized his neck and head, and the cart has come out. They take so much precaution. These trainers do such a tremendous job. But Calais Campbell, an excellent player, and everybody saying their prayers for Calais Campbell right about now.
Well, concern for Campbell. They have the cart waiting once they stabilize him a little bit more. Let's get an update from Joel Klatt. Joel?
All right, Kevin, let's take you to New England, where Tom Brady just outside of 2 minutes, trying to go down the field to Amendola, and that one's picked off from Keenan Lewis. The Saints ended up punting the ball back to New England. They've got the ball with 1:13 left, trying to drive down 27-23.
Fine finish there. Here are the 49ers up 29-20 with 4:56 to play in the game, but all the thoughts are with Calais Campbell. As you see, he's got movement in his arms, and the protocol is to stabilize everything as a precaution. They don't take any chances, John. They will stabilize every part of his body and put him on that board and strap him down so he can't move, just as a precaution. But, you know, if we look at that replay, the one thing that interests me is Campbell is 6'8". He went exceedingly low on that play. I almost wonder if something happened before that. Don't you think he went in really low on Frank Gore? I don't know if he got blocked into him, but he's a 6'8" guy, and he went pretty low on Gore. Maybe I'm just making something out of nothing there.
Well, he certainly goes in and gets his head and neck bent in a way that it's not supposed to be bent. And, that's the rough part about this game. That's always a possibility, and you just hope. They take so much precaution these days. You hope that that's all it is precaution rather than a serious injury.
Continue to stabilize Campbell, 6th year out of Miami. He's really turned into one of the staple players of this franchise. You see he's in a pile there. It didn't look like the head had the direct impact, but you turn your neck a certain way, and it's just a bad scene.
Zaquan Bolden in there, a former teammate of Calais Campbell's in his days in Arizona.
You know, and right now they're doing the wave in Candlestick Park.
Classy move by the 49er players, telling the crowd, come on, let's show some class here. And I don't.
That's exactly. They say, hey, not the time for that right now. And they continue to stabilize Calais Campbell. Let's check in once more with Joel Klatt.
Thank you, Kevin. And just a reminder that after the OT right here on Fox, we'll have Game 2 of the ALCS as the Detroit Tigers look to go up 2-0 against the Boston Red Sox. Prince Fielder getting all set, hitting .286 in the postseason. Pitching matchup tonight, Scherzer and Buchholz from Fenway.
Joel, thanks. That's coming up. Still have to finish here, but most importantly, they're working to make sure Calais Campbell is okay. And this is really tremendous sportsmanship by both teams. I mean, you see the concern out there for Campbell. They've got him all stabilized and tightened up on the board. That's great. So clearly he's got feeling in the extremities. And again, John, this is something they do for any kind of injury where there's a concern like this. They do this procedure for everyone. They don't take any chances.
Kevin, I think the one thing I tell people all the time is it's vicious out there. It's physical. You see chippy plays. We saw the unsportsmanlike conduct, and that's a great sign right there. Calais Campbell, thumbs up to the San Francisco fans. But it's a tremendous amount of respect amongst players, and in moments like that, you see the sportsmanship at its best.
And nice job by the 49ers fans, too, to realize that and give Campbell a very nice standing clap there. As look at the sunshine fading behind Candlestick, and what a pall that puts on this game. That's a pretty big delay, an important part of the game. You're a player, John, right now. How do you kind of flip the switch and get back into aggressive mode?
Well, that's the tough thing, and we got a critical 3rd down right here, so it's just something you have to get used to. You have to adapt, and we'll see who can have that focus right here on what I said was a critical 3rd down.
And Kaepernick's going to call a timeout. Final timeout by San Francisco on this third down. He knows a chance to really salt this game away. I mean, already 4:30 to go in the game. San Francisco up 9, but wants to make this play count. Well, Vernon Davis at 7 for 171 and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Second half, John, it's been all about smash mouth football.
Well, I keep saying it, but Greg Roman said it. We're going to loosen this group up. Arizona had played run defense incredibly well. They loosened them up, and then they put the hammer on them, and the turnovers came for the San Francisco 49er defense as well. Carson Palmer and the Arizona Cardinals hung in there with a couple big plays, but San Francisco, the score really doesn't indicate how much they've dominated this game today.
Well, 2 big turnovers. Larry Fitzgerald in the red zone when they were driving down by 2, and then Alphonso Smith down by 9 driving. Now third down, it's Gore. Bounces off 1 tackle, but he's stopped for a loss. And that'll mean a Phil Dawson field goal try to make it a 12-point game.
A lot of fight in this Arizona defense, playing right to the very end, and another illustration of it right there.
Timeout, Arizona. This is their second charge timeout.
The Cardinals don't want to let that clock run with 4:20 to go and now just 1 timeout left as the Niners looking to go up by 12. Tonight, Fox Sports Live, Jay Onrait, Dan O'Toole. Complete highlights and analysis from ALCS game number 2. Full day of the NFL, of course, and new college football rankings, plus everything else in the world of sports. Don't miss Fox Sports Live every night only on Fox Sports 1. To find Fox Sports 1 on your provider, go to foxsports1.com right now. Dawson on for a 44-yard field goal try. Kevin McDermott is the snapper, Andy Lee the holder. And the long-time Cleveland Brown is good, and it makes it a 32-20 game with 4:15 to go. Phil Dawson has been so reliable over his career. 14 years to the Browns, made the Pro Bowl last year, just puts it through and makes it a 12-point lead with 4:15 to go. That New England game with the Saints coming down the wire. Joe Klatt, tell us what happened.
Kevin, I feel like I'm just in the booth with you guys, so let's do this. New England, 8 plays, 70 yards in a minute, 8. And with 5 seconds left, Kimbrell Tompkins with the TD catch, 30-27. The Saints no longer unbeaten. Kevin, John, crazy day in New England. Only going to get crazier with the ALCS tonight.
Wow, that's a comeback, huh?
You got 2 Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Fame quarterbacks dueling it out, and Tom Brady, the ultimate champion, coming out on top.
Well, thanks, Joel. You know, John, since we were in New England week 3 against Tampa, Kimbrell Tompkins has come on. He really has. I mean, he's come on and been a good target for Tom Brady. That's a huge comeback victory for the Patriots, and the Saints suffer their first loss. Although the way the NFC South is shaping up right now, they're just fine. Cardinals have a lot of work to do. 4:15 to go, 1 timeout, and they trail by 12.
It's a lot of time, though. Again, still a 2-score game. A lot of time. If they can be efficient, now it's touchdowns. No more field goals. They need 2 touchdowns. We'll see if Carson Palmer can go to work on this 49er defense. Tough task.
Well, they have been a second-half team, these Cardinals. Right now, the Niners' 18-play touchdown drive is a real big difference with the turnovers. Palmer on first down has Fitzgerald out to the 36. He's going to pick up 16 yards on the play. Carlos Rogers on the stop.
That's a good way to start, finding Larry Fitzgerald.
Got to go hurry up here. And they're going to go far sideline. That's not going to get much. Andre Roberts, Tremaine Brock on the tackle on a pickup of 5.
And if you're Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, you don't want to get soft. You don't want to get into that prevent defense, but you do want to keep the ball in front of you. That's what the 49ers are doing right now.
Going to swing it out to Andre Ellington. Stays in bounds. Oh, good footwork by Ellington, who has himself a first down. He got out of Eric Reed's tackle.
Well, you see things like that, and Bruce Arians' comment about Darren Sproles starts to be a lot more reasonable.
Yeah.
Bruce Arians said, you put 10 pounds on this kid, he's going to be the next Darren Sproles. And the more you watch him, the more you believe that man, Bruce Arians.
As Ellington goes out of bounds, and under 5 minutes in the game, the clock does stop out of bounds, so that helps Arizona. Blitz coming. Palmer in deep trouble. He backpedals forever and just throws it away to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Jim Harbaugh making a case that it didn't get there, but it definitely did.
Got the wrong line of scrimmage.
He's looking at the first down. And then he faces.
He says, my bad, my bad.
Wrong line.
There's another face of Jim Harbaugh. He is.
He is great. He ran to the first down marker. Said, wait, oh, wait, hold on. That was the first down marker. Ellington is a one out, bottom of your screen on a second down. Palmer in trouble. Here comes Justin Smith, and again he's going to float it out of bounds, just throwing it away, but going to leave him in a 3rd and long.
He was looking for Ellington, and Ellington seemingly hadn't turned his head. Carson had to hold on to the football and again throw it away. You see Carson looking to his left, looking for Andre Ellington, ready to throw it, pumps it a couple times. Ellington's not ready. He has to throw it away.
Third and 10. Niners jumped off sides. Palmer throws, and it's incomplete. Justin Smith, I think, jumped. They're going to get 5 yards on this.
Offside. Defense. Number 55.
Nope.
5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's on Brooks, not Justin Smith.
Carson was imploring Lyle Sinline to get him the ball as the second clock was going right down to the wire once again. I believe you were right. It was right. Justin Smith. They identified the wrong player, but Justin Smith, knowing that second clock was running down, tries to get a jump. Not a smart play. Gives the Cardinals another opportunity on 3rd down.
Pressure. Palmer throws, incomplete. Carlos Rogers on the coverage looking for Britton Golden, and now game on the line with a 4th down coming up.
See Golden, who came off the practice squad just this week. A lot to ask of a young man, and it brings up an absolutely critical, a must-have 4th down situation for the Arizona Cardinals and Carson Palmer.
Cardinals needed to keep the game going. Justin Smith sacked, and the ball, they say, incomplete on the field. It doesn't matter. 49ers get the ball. Cardinals turn it over with 2:59 to go, and now San Francisco to try to run it out.
Well, there's Justin Smith right there. Been relatively quiet all day. He's got a rookie left tackle he's working against, and he just beats him like a drum and brings it to Carson Palmer. Again, an example. Great players making big plays when their teams need it most. Justin Smith relatively quiet, but he delivers in the end for the 49ers.
'49ers football, 2:59 to go. They're up 32-20, and Arizona only with 1 timeout. So they got the 1 timeout and the 2-minute warning. And Anthony Dixon in the backfield with not a single wide receiver out there. And Dixon doesn't get much on 1st down, but the clock is running. Arizona going to take their final timeout. Justin Smith is just tireless on that defensive line.
It really is, and you think, you know, there's a lot of talk about the 49ers trying to rest him a little more this year. Nuh-uh, he's not going for it, and they've been injured up front. They got some reinforcements coming off the PUP list and a couple rookies. But Justin Smith, I don't think he's having that. He's a guy who wants to play every snap, and he does so effectively.
It's Tony Girardetti, the defensive lineman, in motion. And Dixon, a short gain as Darrell Washington takes him down, and that will take us, I was going to say to the 2-minute warning, but Arizona's going to use their final timeout. So they'll have the stoppage here, and then the 2-minute warning. We got to tell you that Fox tomorrow, everyone's new favorite drama, Sleepy Hollow. Critics are raving, John. It's unlike anything else on TV. A mysterious child found from another era. Does he carry a deadly secret? See why everyone is hopelessly hooked on Sleepy Hollow. It's all new tomorrow, 9/8 Central on Fox. So Arizona looking for one last gasp here on a 3rd down. And the Niners, presumably, if they run it, will take it to the 2-minute warning, and that'll be the last stoppage for Arizona. We'll look for a miracle touchdown and an onside kick. I'm setting up the dream scenario for Arizona, but I got to lay it out there, John.
And how about if you're Arizona, you play this physical bloodbath type of game, and who's waiting for you? Seattle on Thursday night. Quick turnaround. That's tough. Playing the 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks, probably the 2 most physical football teams in football back-to-back in 10 days.
Whoever scheduled that is not a Cardinals fan, clearly. 3rd and 7. Dixon again, and he's going to move forward maybe a yard. Take it to the 2-minute warning here at Candlestick, where the Niners in control, up 12. San Francisco has used smash mouth football the last 2 weeks, getting wins back to their roots. Well, they've done it in the second half today. Frank Gore, Vernon Davis, and this monstrous offensive line. And that has been the difference, along with a couple of key turnovers by the Niners defense. Arizona will get it back. 2 minutes to go, down by 12, no timeouts. Andy Lee to punt it away. And it's Patrick Peterson who fumbles, and he just hops on it. Well, if anything, Arizona needed a big return from that man, but instead they'll start it on their own 5 with 1:51 to go. So if San Francisco holds on, they'll be 4-2, 1 game back of Seattle. And, you know, looking forward, they've got at Tennessee, who's playing everybody hard this year, and then at Jacksonville in London. And Coach Harbaugh told us, John, they're going to go right after that Titans game and spend the week overseas.
Absolutely. Jim Harbaugh does a tremendous job of getting these guys prepared. They hit their low. First back-to-back losses in the Jim Harbaugh era earlier this year, Seattle and Indy. But they fought their way out. They're playing good football once again.
Carson Palmer looking for something here, and he's going to have Larry Fitzgerald who reaches forward. No signal yet. This might be a score for Brock. Now they say he was down. Okay, we get the signal coming from the other side of the field saying that Fitzgerald was indeed down.
Look at Fitzgerald. You see when the knee's down, the ball is down, his knee's down, he's extending the football. That will remain the Arizona Cardinals football.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's the right call.
Larry Fitzgerald, uncharacteristically a little loose with the football today. We saw the big fumble going in earlier. Fantastic football player, though. He always plays right to the end.
Clock is ticking. 1:24 left in the game. Hang on. Sure, this has got to be about the clock, right? Maybe not.
See the hand down, left knee down, ball down. He's down right there.
He wasn't down.
Let's see. Yep. Now they got a review at that point. I'm guessing either that or this is a clock issue. The clock was rolling. Now it's rolling again. All right. Knee was down. 1:18 to play. Hausler. And that's not going to get it done.
Hey, don't kick me.
Under a minute to go. And apparently Dante Whitner doesn't like to be kicked. in trouble, fires it away, incomplete. He had some heavy pressure from Tony Girardetti. Tony Girardetti, the second-year man from Texas A&M. John, last week he had an interception, a beautiful interception off of Matt Schaub. He kind of dropped into coverage. Here's just a completely meaningless stat, but we've got 46 seconds to go and the game's over. The last number 63 to get an interception in an NFL game, Michael Bankston in 1995. It's not a common thing, John.
That is meaningless, though.
Good time to throw it out there, my friend. 45 seconds left. Palmer's going to throw it over the middle. Ellington gets the initial hit by Dante Whitner and then bounces off that, dives forward, first down. Clock running with no timeouts.
Andre Ellington, one thing you can really look forward to in Arizona. You found yourself a football player in the 6th round in Andre Ellington.
I think when you look at this game, Arizona played right with these 49ers, but a couple crucial turnovers in the second half really killed their chances, John. They certainly were in it and then some, but San Francisco, as they do so well, power running game, finishing Arizona off. That'll do it here from Candlestick. 32-20, the 49ers take down the Cardinals. We'll be back to wrap it up after this. Niners go to 4-2 with the victory.